Chapter 451, Yian's Heart 4. The very day Zhou Yian was taught martial arts from Wal Han and danced with her. The two finally became a pair. As the couple left the Sok village, they flew on a magic artifact, their bodies leaning a little closer to each other than before. From that day on, they were always together. Before, only their bodies were together, but now, even their hearts were completely intertwined. For the next few years, they continued to exterminate demon beasts together, deepening their love. At the same time, they both grew stronger. Ha-Un's martial arts improved greatly alongside Zhou Yian, striving to reach the pinnacle of 5 energies converging to the origin. The consciousness method that Zhou Yian was developing also took shape after truly becoming lovers with Ha-Un. TSTSTSTSTSTs. It's beautiful. Ha-Un smiled as she watched Zhou Yian refining his consciousness method. The thread-like form of his consciousness scattered in all 4 directions, much like immortals. The threads of Zhou Yian's consciousness, influenced by his current emotional state, were tinged with a violet hue, resembling tentacles at a glance. The threads were particularly connected to the 7 patterns on Zhou Yian's face, making them seem even more intertwined with him. Recently, 2 of the 7 tattoos had begun merging into one, and because of this, Zhou Yian's face appeared even more connected to the tentacles. The sight was somewhat grotesque. Yet, the appearance of those consciousness threads was strikingly beautiful, and Zhou Yian, at the center, looked like an immortal being burning with the flames of consciousness. After calming his consciousness method, Zhou Yian took off his mask and met Ha-Un's gaze. By now, Ha-Un no longer wore her mask. Perhaps it was because they wanted to see each other's faces more clearly. It's embarrassing. It's still incomplete, and the threads spilling from my whole body, doesn't it look a bit strange? Ha-Un watched Zhou Yian return the consciousness threads to their spherical form and, after a moment of thought, spoke. Isn't it a matter of perception? Perception, yes. If you see it as strange, it's strange, but if you look at it from another perspective, it's really quite beautiful. Just like when you said my face was pretty. That was genuinely enough. It's embarrassing, so stop it. What I mean is, it's only strange, Guai Qi, because you perceive it that way, but in my eyes, yes. Ha-Un paused as if searching for the right word, then said. It's wonderfully mysterious, Qi Miao, in a way that's quite fascinating and beautiful. TLN. Wonderfully mysterious also means wonderfully strange or strange and wonderful. Zhou Yian blushed. Your choice of words is weird. You need to study more. No, what do you mean by that? Even after I complimented you. Don't hit me. The difference in our physical strength makes it hurt. How about we go get something to eat? I'll buy you something delicious to lift your mood. After bickering for a bit, the two headed to a nearby village. As they entered the village, Ha-Un held Zhou Yian's hand. Though she was getting used to not wearing her mask, it still wasn't completely comfortable for her. Her pockmarked scars were from a rare plague that even complete transformation couldn't erase, and the burned scar was something she had purposely left, to remind her of the anger she felt when she lost Wal Bai. However, now that her vengeance was complete, the burned scar only brought her a deep sense of shame. But eventually, she found peace by holding Zhou Yian's hand, ignoring the stares of the people as they headed to an inn together. All eyes in the inn turned toward them. A hunchbacked man and a hideously scarred woman. It was a combination that naturally drew attention. HMPH. Zhou Yian, irritated by the stares, raised his killing intent. His consciousness waves spread throughout the inn, causing the faces of the mortals there to turn pale. They quickly finished their meals and left the inn, while even those strong enough to withstand his consciousness waves averted their eyes. You didn't need to go that far. I had something to say anyway. Zhou Yian led her to the top floor of the inn, seating them at the spot with the best scenic view. He looked like he wanted to say something, but his face turned red, and he fumbled for words. Zhou Yian stammered for a while, breathing heavily. Finally, as if making a decision, he grabbed Ha-Un's hand and spoke. Will you, Mar? Thud. Just as Zhou Yian was about to say something important, a hand suddenly slammed down on the table, separating the two of them. Zhou Yian, ready to glare at the intruder with killing intent, suddenly flinched as a chilling realization dawned on him. What? Neither of us noticed until this person got so close. A man wearing a bamboo hat and ragged martial robe stood before them. His eyes had a vacant look, and an unpleasant smile curled on his lips. Zhou Yian felt a terror he had never felt before from the man standing before him. As Zhou Yian and Ha-Un stood frozen in place, the man smiled faintly and spoke. Ho ho, no need to be so tense, you two. I've only come to ask for your names. With a trembling voice, Zhou Yian asked. Quote. Who might you be, senior? Ho ho, I wonder if you'd know if I told you. You see, I'm, yes, the father of the ones you two killed during your heroic deeds. Chills. Zhou Yian felt a chill run through his entire body. The only beings he and Han had killed since they began their journey were demon beasts. Which meant this man before them was the father of one of the demon beasts they had slain. And as far as Zhou Yian knew, there was only one type of demon beast that could transform so perfectly into a human form. Transformation stage. In other words, a demon beast at least at the nascent soul stage. Zhou Yian trembled before the man as if he were a quaking aspen. Is this how it ends? It was when Zhou Yian's eyes were filled with despair. Han took a deep breath and spoke to the man. Senior, we do not know who you are. However, I will say this. Most of the beings we have slain were demon beasts that excessively harmed humans and developed a taste for slaughter. For those demon beasts that only once preyed on humans, we merely injured them and chased them away, teaching them that humans are not their prey. We do not know which demon beast you claim as your child, but every one of those we killed had a reason to die. Zhou Yian stared at her in shock. No, to say that in front of a nascent soul stage demon beast. I see. Unlike me, she doesn't understand the level of a demon beast that can transform. But suddenly, he noticed the cold sweat forming on the back of her neck. Yes, even though she might not know the exact level of the man in front of them, she understood that he was a terrifying being. Despite that, she still spoke confidently. Zhou Yian saw a reflection of Walbai in her appearance. Ah, my friend, you truly, live on within your disciple. It's when Zhou Yian felt crushed by the pressure of impending death and saw Walbai's image. Ho ho, ho hoo ha ha ha, the man started to laugh. He patted Zhou Yian and Han on their shoulders. It seems there's been a misunderstanding, my friends. I haven't come to hold you accountable. In fact, I came to thank you for cleaning up some waste product Fei Pin. Waste product? Zhou Yian and Ha-Un's eyes twitched. The man chuckled heartily and said, what you killed was just a waste product that escaped while I was perfecting a secret art to great completion. I was about to deal with it myself since it would have been troublesome if the remnant was seen by the Zhou or One clans, but you two saved me the trouble. I should be thanking you instead. That's why I came to ask for your names to express my gratitude, so please relax. Ho ho. Quote. 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 The tension between Zhou Yian and Han eased slightly at the man's words. But not completely. The two exchanged glances before speaking. My name is Zhou Yian, Zhao Yuan. My name is Wal Han, Yu Sha En. Quote. Quote. But upon hearing their names, the man fell silent for a moment. Zhou Yian and Han anxiously glanced at each other and then at the man. Suddenly, the man muttered to himself. But his words were clear to the ears of both of them. Yian, Yuan, is that it, perhaps? Then what's that thing stuck to it? Could a lowly thing have attached itself due to a twisted fate Ming? The man's unfocused eyes flicked back and forth between the two of them. Zhou Yian and Han both felt a chill run down their spines. Those eyes looked at them as if they were lifeless objects, not people. What is he planning to do to us? It's when Zhou Yian grew me anxious. The man suddenly smiled faintly and asked, are you two by any chance lovers? Their faces flushed at the question. That's correct. Yes we are, senior. Haha, I see. In that case, would you two consider breaking your connection and parting ways? Quote. Exclamation mark question mark quote. Zhou Yian shot up from his seat. Quote. I apologize, but that will be impossible. Why is that? Because I cannot sever my feelings for my beloved. No matter how much you threaten us, that will never change. The man seemed to ponder Zhou Yian's words for a moment, then suddenly grabbed Ha-Un's shoulder and whispered in her ear. If you spend one night with me immediately, I will make you my consort Fei and ensure you live a life of abundance. You will be able to live for another 1,000 years and experience all the finest things the mortal world has to offer. What the? Zhou Yian's face turned bright red with anger. The man's eyes split vertically. And most importantly, if you come with me now, I won't kill the two of you. Goo. An overwhelming pressure filled the entire inn. Zhou Yian could hardly breathe under the man's oppressive force, and Han, too, was barely holding on, panting as she deflected the intense aura. Now, make your choice. Die here a dog's death, or come with me and secure a happy ending for the both of you. And the next moment, Zhou Yian's eyes bulged wide. Slap. Han had slapped the man across the face. Her entire body was ablaze with protective gang chi as she resisted the man's pressure, and her hand shone brightly with hang gang. Grinding her teeth, Han spit out her words. If Senior continues to harass us, I choose to die right here. The one who has truly loved and accepted me is this man surnamed Joe, and once I accepted his heart, I never had any intention of accepting anyone else. Please stop insulting us, and quickly kill us if you must. The man rubbed his slapped cheek, looking at the two with amused eyes. Then, he smiled faintly again. How interesting. My secret art definitely worked, but your emotions are taking precedence, ho ho. In that case, I'll make a proposal. Does the distinguished person have any plans of changing your name in the future? The man looked at Han and asked. She seemed puzzled by the question and replied, quote, who knows? I'm not sure, but I suppose no one can predict the future. Very well. Then, I'll leave it at that. I'll take my leave for now. The man lifted his hands from their shoulders and turned around. To the man turning around, Han called out to him. I don't know why you are doing this to us, but if you truly wish to take someone as your consort and receive their love, please treat people with sincerity. If Senior continues with that attitude, Senior will never receive genuine love. Woodook. At Ha-eun's words, the man suddenly stopped and looked back at her. Chills. Han and Jo Yeon felt danger to their lives. For a brief moment, a vision flashed in their minds of their bodies being torn apart. It was the lingering echo of killing intent that had passed over them. Ah, the man chuckled as he clutched his head. My apologies. A momentary flaw appeared in the secret art I've learned which allowed some killing intent to leak out. Well then, I hope the two of you continue to live harmoniously and happily. The man smiled faintly, glancing at Ha-eun. And, miss, it would be wise for you to watch what you say in the future. Though I wish the best for both of you, who knows? A slip of the tongue could lead to a horrible end, one even I can't imagine. Ho ho. With that, the man descended the stairs, still with a smiling face. For a long while, the two of them stood frozen in place, unable to move. It wasn't until a fishy smell reached their noses that they finally stirred. Jo Yeon looked down at the inn below. The majority of those who had remained in the inn became pancakes with their bodies exploded. It seemed they had been unable to withstand the man's earlier pressure and had died. With grim faces, Jo Yeon and Ha-eun left the inn without saying a word, leaving the village and flying off on their flight magic artifact to escape for a long time. Fortunately, no one followed them. Yet, Jo Yeon and Ha-eun could not shake the ominous and foreboding feeling they had when they encountered the man. Quote, Did I say something wrong? Ha-eun spoke with a bitter expression as they hovered in the air. It's just that, he seemed like someone who wanted to be loved, so I thought I'd offer him some advice. Love, you say? Jo Yeon shuddered, recalling the man's dull eyes and lifeless intent. Having only just begun to grasp the consciousness method, Jo Yeon could barely perceive the color of the man's intent. Thus, he was able to recall the man's intent. The man's intent was incredibly cold and heavy, exuding a chilling sense of foreboding. Jo Yeon had never before sensed the intent of a being that screamed so much in agony. To me, he seemed not like someone who wanted love, but like someone who had gone mad. He felt as if he had no heart at all. The two talked as they piled stones in memory of the mortals who had died in the inn. They were too terrified of that being to return to the inn and retrieve the corpses. Is that so? Well, we can have different perspectives. By the way, there was something I wanted to say in the inn, but we were a bit interrupted. What is it? After they finished stacking the stones and offered a brief prayer, Ha-eun turned to Jo Yeon and spoke. Would you spend the rest of your life with me, older brother Joe? Quote, Ah. Jo Yeon looked at her and let out a hollow laugh at his own pathetic self. Thinking back, hadn't he intended to propose first? In the end, she beat him to it. With a bitter smile, Jo Yeon took Ha-eun's hands in his. I will live together with you for 100 years, no, 1,000 years. I will grow old with you and will die together on the same day and same time. Is that so? Thank you. Ha-eun smiled softly. Jo Yeon, shaking off his bitter smile, broke into a full, radiant grin. For our official wedding, how about we hold it at that place? Which place? Where we first introduced ourselves. Ha-eun's eyes sparkled at Jo Yeon's suggestion. Ah, that place. Yes. When spring comes and the flowers are in full bloom, let's choose an auspicious day and hold our ceremony in front of the quince tree. Ha-eun blushed and nodded at Jo Yeon's words. That sounds wonderful. It's autumn now, so in half a year, the quince flowers will be in full bloom. We'll wait until then, and though it may be modest, we'll choose an auspicious day and hold the ceremony together. Yes, on that day, at that moment, let's truly become one. At Ha-eun's words, Zhou Yian smiled as if he had gained the world. TSTSTSTSTSTSTs. On his face, patterns of 7 colors emerged. 2 patterns that had been halfway merged fully combined, leaving only 6 patterns on Zhou Yian's face. As they decided on the date, the two began preparing for their wedding gifts. Zhou Yian borrowed a mortal's forge to pour all his talent into crafting the most fitting gift for her, while Ha-eun honed her martial skills even further. It was to undergo another complete transformation. When she had undergone her first transformation, she had left the burn scar to remind herself of Walbai's vengeance. But now, she had avenged Walbai within the limits she could. Thus, she no longer needed the scar. To become one with Zhou Yian in her most beautiful form, she dedicated herself entirely to undergoing a complete transformation once more. And a month after the two had promised to marry, Zhou Yian was taken away by the Zhou clan. What? Zhou Yian stared at the clan's core formation elder in bewilderment. What do you mean by that? Can you not even understand speech, you foolish thing? Didn't I tell you that the clan head is formulating a grand plan? The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, Black Ghost Valley, and the Grasslands Tribe Alliance. The east is too far, so it's difficult to make any moves there, but we're gathering all the nearby forces. I'm saying an empire that spans the entire continent will be created. Yes, I understand that, but what? Did I not say you are to soon enter into an arranged marriage with one of the late-stage disciples of Black Ghost Valley? So stop your wandering and prepare for your wedding. Please wait a moment. I am not fit for marriage. As you know, Elder, I am a hunchback, and my appearance is unsightly. But you are an extraordinary pattern law talent. That too, initially a 7 pattern law talent, but after recent confirmation, you've evolved into a 6 pattern law talent. An extraordinary pattern law talent can only be born from the Zhou clan's pure bloodline. Moreover, for the talent to evolve to a higher stage means that your bloodline is even more pure and talented than most. As your bloodline is close to that of a direct descendant, your appearance is of no concern. But Zhou Yian swallowed hard. A direct descendant of the clan. Had the clan ever once treated him like a direct descendant? If they had, he wouldn't have been doing something like wandering in the first place. Zhou Yian decided to appeal not with logic or profit, but with emotion. I've already promised to marry someone else. Who is it? Perhaps someone from a major sect? No, it's not that. Although she's just a martial artist, she has exceptional talent. Kwang, Kahayak. Zhou Yian coughed up blood as he was crushed by an overwhelming pressure. The core formation elder glared at him with his face twisted in fury. You, filthy thing, engaged to a beast, not even a branch member, but an extraordinary pattern law talent, the face of the clan, engaged to a beast. You wretch, watch your mouth. If word gets out that you've been playing house with a beast, the Zhou clan will be the laughingstock of the world. Listen carefully, you fool. Mortals are not the same humans like us. They're beasts, livestock. To borrow the phrasing of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, they are non-human. There's already some dissatisfaction from Black Ghost Valley due to your hideous appearance, but if it's revealed that you engaged in bestiality, your arranged marriage will fall apart. The core formation elder continued to shout furiously. The Qi building cultivators who have gathered in front of the elder for the arranged marriages with the late-stage disciples of Black Ghost Valley all sneered at Zhou Yian. Engaged to a beast. Insane. His twisted lust matches his grotesque appearance. He is so disgusting that I have no words, Kiki. Zhou Yian grinded his teeth at the jeers of the crowd. As the elder said, I'm a hunchback with a hideous appearance. But, he looked the elder straight in the eyes and spoke. She is not a beast. She is undeniably a person. The elder was taken aback by Zhou Yian's words and replied. Crazy thing, you call a beast a person? Not only did you mate with a beast, but now you see them as a person. You lunatic, do you even understand how much benefit is tied to this political marriage? Although your partner also has many issues with relationships with men, she's still the daughter of one of the curse lineage elders of Black Ghost Valley. If this political marriage is so important, then please, have a younger and more handsome late-stage cultivator take my place instead of a hunchback like me. I am unworthy of marrying someone as distinguished as the daughter of the curse lineage elder. You fool, do you even realize how much they want the extraordinary pattern law talent? Anyone with this talent must participate in this marriage. Are you really going to forsake the grace the clan has given you all these years over your twisted affection for some beast? Do not make the clan a laughingstock. Remember how much you've benefited from the clan as you've grown and walked the path of cultivation. At the elder's fierce reprimand, Zhou Yiyan bit down hard. The clan's grace. What did he receive again? He recalled his father, who had beaten him since childhood, the clan members who tormented him when he moved to the main family, and the adults who kicked him away in disgust whenever they saw him. The spirit stones and elixirs he had been allotted were always stolen by his peers. Even the 3 pills meant to help him reach the chi building stage were taken by his relatives. In the end, he had to buy a leftover pill, a building emptiness pill, from the market just to break through to the chi building stage. And wasn't it the Zhou clan that killed his closest friend? Zhou Yiyan had always harbored resentment towards the clan, but now, hearing them speak of grace, while insulting Han, it made him lose control. Do not insult her. Who are you calling a beast? She is a martial artist who knows righteousness and a person who embraces benevolence. The real beasts are those within this clan who treat branch members like mere test subjects. Enough. Kwang. Zhou Yiyan coughed up more blood, silenced by the elder's roar. He's completely lost his mind. Completely bewitched by that beast. This won't do. Hear me. Lock this madman in solitary confinement and watch him closely. Do not release him until the political marriage is settled. The elder glared at Zhou Yiyan as he spoke. Whether you like it or not, you will sacrifice yourself for the clan. You carry the blood and surname of the Zhou clan, you were born with the great extraordinary pattern law talent, and the clan has supported you up to the chi building stage. If you've enjoyed the benefits, you must know how to repay the favor. The political marriage will take place this winter. Until then, stay in solitary confinement and sort out your emotions. Wait. Zhou Yiyan tried to resist, but the clan's chi building stage cultivators rushed in, subduing him and dragging him away. Please wait, elder. I cannot go through with this marriage. I've made a promise with her. However, his pleas fell on deaf ears and he was locked away in solitary confinement. Zhou Yiyan stared out in a daze from within the cell. The room was covered in an impenetrable barrier, making escape impossible. Zhou Yiyan gritted his teeth. No, this couldn't happen. He had to be with her. No, Kwang. He pounded the wall with his reddened eyes. Quirurung. But as he raged, the barrier activated, triggering a spell that shocked his consciousness. Zhou Yiyan opened his eyes in anger, his consciousness reeling from the impact. This is. When his consciousness collided with the barrier, he felt his mind become strange. He instinctively understood. This room's barrier was designed to brainwash him. A brainwashing barrier created to make him dedicate his body and soul to the Zhou clan. Boo-doo-doo-dook. Zhou Yiyan was certain, if he remained trapped here until winter, he would go completely mad, forgetting her and becoming a mere puppet obeying the clan's commands. I must escape before the wedding date arrives. He began analyzing the barrier and pushing the consciousness method he had been developing to evolve even further. So that he would never be brainwashed. So that the person called Zhou Yiyan could remain true to himself. And, so he could break this room's barrier. Time passed quickly. Finally, winter approached, and Zhou Yiyan was visited by the elder who came to his solitary room. Have you regained your senses a little now? Yes, elder. I think I temporarily lost my mind and did something disgraceful. Please forgive me. I will follow your orders properly from now on. Zhou Yiyan's eyes appeared somewhat dazed and vacant. The elder looked at him with satisfaction and smiled. Very good. The disciplinary barrier provided by the Sea Dragon clan was well crafted. The wedding is only a few days away, so be prepared. It might be best to get you dressed ahead of time. Hear me. At the elder's command, the Zhou clan's servants came in and changed Zhou Yiyan's clothes. He was dressed in the Zhou clan's traditional wedding attire. A clean, light pink silk robe. The elder nodded approvingly as he observed the sight. Even a hunchback looks somewhat presentable when dressed like this. Haha. Now, spend a few more days facing the wall and composing your emotions. Soon, we will become in-laws with the Black Ghost Valley's cursed lineage. The elder spoke with satisfaction before leaving the solitary room. However, once the elder left, Zhou Yiyan's gaze changed. With sharp eyes, he extended his consciousness. Threads of his consciousness filled the room. Zhou Yiyan focused his mind on the consciousness threads, bringing his hand to the floor. Wo Wang, His threads of consciousness clung to the ceiling, walls, and floor of the solitary room, starting to draw a strange circuit. It's still incomplete, but I can at least break the barrier. Wo Wang. Zhou Yian's circuit seized control of the barrier. And at a certain moment, flash, Zhou Yian fully took control of the barrier and discreetly dismantled part of it without leaving any trace. It's done. He smiled with exhilaration and finally stepped outside. It seems the vigilance has weakened since the elder visited. After surveying his surroundings and confirming no one was around, he skillfully slipped out of the Zhou clan. Though the clan's barrier formations repeatedly blocked his path, Zhou Yian used his unique consciousness method and circuits to break through them. It was late at night. Taking advantage of the darkness, he finally escaped the Zhou clan's territory completely. It's done, I did it. After escaping the Zhou clan's territory, Zhou Yian quickly boarded a flying magic artifact and sped off toward Shangxi. The arranged marriage date is approaching soon. Before then, I must marry her. Zhou Yian knew. Eventually, both he and she would be captured again by the Zhou clan. It was likely they couldn't avoid the arranged marriage. However, Zhou Yian, even if that were to happen, at the very least wanted to marry her first. To marry some unknown female cultivator from Black Ghost Valley, only to later marry her in a second wedding. That can never happen, even if he must see his friend Walbai who already went to the afterlife. Zhou Yian flew swiftly, determined to hold his first wedding with Wal Han no matter what. Soaring through the dark night sky, Zhou Yian finally arrived at a secluded corner of a forest. As soon as he arrived, his eyes reddened. Midwinter. Beside a quince tree, stripped of all its leaves. There, Han was living in a small cabin she had built. It was to keep the promise they had made to hold their wedding in front of this quince tree. Zhou Yian stepped into the cabin. Ha-Un's face turned to surprise when she saw him. For a moment, the two silently looked at each other. Though no words were spoken, the meaning was conveyed. Zhou Yian and Wal Han ran to each other and embraced tightly. I missed you, Zhou Yian said. I missed you too, she replied. For a long while after those words, the two remained silent. And then, after some time, Zhou Yian spoke. The clan is trying to make me the subject of an arranged marriage. He spoke, holding Ha-Un's shoulders. There's no way to avoid it. The Zhou clan is the continent's foremost clan. Even if we run, they'll eventually track us down. But, we can still become husband and wife. Zhou Yian met Ha-Un's gaze with burning eyes. Let's hold the wedding today. Though I'll be captured again and forced into the arranged marriage, you will be my first wife. No matter how grand the arranged marriage may be, the person I marry will only be the second wife. The two held hands tightly. Even if it's my fate to go through with the arranged marriage, within that fate, I will regard you as my first. So, though it's unprepared, and though the ceremony can only be inadequate. As he spoke, Zhou Yian's eyes turned red. Things hadn't turned out the way he had hoped. He had wanted to set an auspicious date for their wedding, watching the spring flowers in the warmth of spring, but now, they had to hold the ceremony urgently in the middle of winter. The situation itself felt unreasonable. Still, he wanted to form this connection with her no matter what, even if it had to be like this. Will you marry me? Han, hearing Zhou Yian's sincere words, also teared up. Yes, I've always been ready to be with you, whenever and however. She took Zhou Yian's hand and brushed it against her face, where the burn scar had once been. In the past few months, she had managed to undergo another transformation, successfully erasing the burn mark. Zhou Yian and Han stepped outside the cabin, outside, in front of the quince tree that had saved their lives, where they had first introduced themselves. The two placed a bowl of cold water before the quince tree. Han looked at the quince tree with a bittersweet expression. I wanted us to be united when the spring flowers were in full bloom, but fate doesn't seem to allow it. Quote. At Ha-Un's words, Zhou Yian gazed at the bare, leafless quince tree. Then, right there, he took off the clothes he had been wearing. The traditional wedding attire given to him by the Zhou clan, meant for the arranged marriage with the female cultivator from Black Ghost Valley. He stared at the light pink silk robe for a moment before, without hesitation, started tearing it apart. Rip. With quick movements, he shredded the silk robe. After a short while, Zhou Yian's silk robe had turned into dozens of strips of light pink thread. Zhou Yian swiftly climbed the quince tree and tied the pink threads to each branch, one by one. Although no flowers had bloomed, the sight of the quince tree adorned with dozens of pink threads was quite beautiful. Zhou Yian climbed down from the tree and smiled faintly. I'm sorry, this is all I can do. But still, this is my version of spring. He looked at the many pink threads fluttering in the winter wind and gave a bitter smile. Quote. It's strange, it's too strange, I'm sorry. But Ha-un shook her head. Quote. I told you, it's not strange, it's wonderfully mysterious, it's beautiful. Ha-un smiled brightly as she looked at the tree. It's wonderfully mysterious and beautiful. Just like you. With the bowl of cold water and the many light pink threads adorning the quince tree, the two held their wedding ceremony. We offer our respects to the divine spirits of heaven and earth. The night passed, and dawn began to break in the distance. At the time when the moon set and the sun rose, Zhou Yian and Han made their vows before the sun and moon. We swear before the 8 lights, who have governed blessings since the very beginning of time. We swear before the mountain god, earth god, and all the gods of the heavens and the underworld. From now on, under the eyes of the divine spirits of heaven and earth, we will be bound together as one. We will grow old together, living for 100 years, 1,000 years, side by side. When their hair turns white, so will mine. When they fall into madness and roll in the mud, I will roll in the mud with them. If they commit a sin and fall to the depths of hell, I will follow them to the bottom. Whether in paradise or in hell, we will always be together. We ask the heavenly God, mountain god, snake god, and all the gods of heaven and earth and the heavens to bless us, so that we may become paired-winged birds flying together in the sky and intertwined branches planting roots together in the earth. TLN. Paired-winged bird Bai Yi Now, also known as Bai Yi Niao, is a mythical bird in East Asian mythology that only has one eye and wing, so it needs to pair with its mate in order to fly. The two, having followed the simplified wedding rites, shared the bowl of cold water under the dawn light, each drinking half. Then, they held each other's hands. The wind blew around them, as if blessing the couple. And so, Wal Han and Zhou Yian became husband and wife. 452. Quote. Thank you for being with me. One day, I will properly marry you. This is already more than enough. It's me, Hus. It was when the word, husband, was about to escape her lips. Quang. An intense heat melted all the nearby snow and burned all the trees. Goo. An overwhelming heat filled the surroundings. You bastard. The core formation stage elder of the Zhou clan, the very one who brainwashed Zhou Yian and pushed forward the arranged marriage with Black Ghost Valley. Pot. Pabababat, countless late-stage disciples of the Zhou clan also appeared around him. You filthy, brainless bastard, in the end, you couldn't hold back and came here to engage in bestiality with livestock and heat. Fine, if that's what you want, I'll make sure to tear you two apart completely. If that livestock dies, then you will. Zhou Yian didn't wait for the elder to finish his words and prepared a spell, aiming it at his own head. If you kill or harm her, I will immediately kill myself. What? I will accept the arranged marriage you've proposed. I'll even marry the cultivator from Black Ghost Valley and give you descendants. But, you must promise to spare her life and not harm her in any way. If you don't, I will smash my own head and die right here. Even as an elder, you won't be able to stop this. Zhou Yian spoke while glaring sharply at the elder. If more were born with the extraordinary pattern law talent, you could just kill us both now. But as far as I know, there hasn't been any recent awakening of the extraordinary pattern law talent. Zhou Yian wasn't foolishly threatening his life without reason. He had thoroughly investigated before escaping from the Zhou clan. You could kill me if you plan to break off the political marriage with the daughter of the curse lineage elder. After all, what use is a mere chi-building extraordinary pattern law talent like me? So please, kill me right here and break off the engagement. Zhou Yian knew. Over the years, he had eavesdropped on the conversations outside his solitary room using his consciousness method and became certain. The head of the Zhou clan planned to use these political marriages to elevate the clan into the royal family of the cultivator world. To do that, they needed an unbreakable alliance, and Zhou Yian's death here would create a flaw in the clan head's grand plan. If another extraordinary pattern law talent had emerged within the last few days, they could have simply killed Zhou Yian and replaced him in the arranged marriage. But that was impossible. The elder glared at Zhou Yian with a face flushed red, while Zhou Yian held Wal Ha-un's hand and brought the spell closer to his own head. Finally, the elder shouted at Zhou Yian. Fine, you son of a dog bastard. I swear on my golden core, my honor, and the honor of the Zhou clan, that I won't lay a finger on your pet. I won't kill her or torture her. But, with blazing eyes, he glared at Zhou Yian and spoke. To avoid any strange rumors from Black Ghost Valley, I will send your pet to the eastern end for a while. For the first 20 years of your marriage, the two of you will be absolutely forbidden from meeting each other. Understand? 20 years. Zhou Yian let out a low groan. It was a long time. Too long, but he read the elder's intent. This is the limit. If he pushed for more conditions, the elder might explode and kill Han right here. I understand. In return, after that period, you must promise to let us meet again. Fine, I'll promise that too. I swear it on my golden core, my honor, and the honor of the Zhou clan. Is that enough? Zhou Yian also addressed the late-stage disciples behind the elder. Please make sure that those who came with the elder also promise. At those words, they looked at each other, smirked, and nodded. All right, we promise. We'll let you two meet again someday. We swear on our honor. Truly, enough. Kugugugu. Zhou Yian tried to use his consciousness method to read the intent of the late-stage disciples, but the elder's sharp shout blocked his technique. That's enough. Enough. With the chatter. They've promised in front of me, so they'll keep their word. If you keep doubting, I'll take it as an insult to my honor. Understood. Though still dissatisfied, Zhou Yian decided to trust the elder. Twitch. Something. He felt a strange ominous sensation from the elder and the late-stage disciples, but he dismissed it as a result of the tense situation and bowed his head. For some reason, it reminded him of the foreboding he had felt when he met that nascent soul-stage demon beast long ago, but he forced himself to accept the situation. This is the best option. Zhou Yian looked at Han and embraced her. 20 years is a long time, but, if we yearn for each other, it won't be such a long period. Yes, I understand. Even if 2 changing cycles of the mountains and rivers pass, my heart will not change. The two embraced for a moment before parting. Zhou Yian headed back to the Zhou clan with the core formation elder. Meanwhile, Han left with the late-stage disciples to the far east. She would be separated from him in the east for the next 20 years. Though it was far, Zhou Yian swore with determination as he arrived at the Zhou clan that he would go meet her again. One day, I will see dear again. And 3 days later, Zhou Yian heard an absurd piece of news. Annulment, is that what you're saying? The core formation elder nodded with an extremely angry expression. Yes, it seems Black Ghost Valley investigated your past and discovered that you engaged in bestiality. Crack. The elder glared at Zhou Yian as he spoke. If that had caused a crack in the alliance, I would have personally torn both you and your pet to pieces. But you're unbelievably lucky. It turns out your partner also made a grave mistake. The daughter of the curse lineage elder from Black Ghost Valley, it was known she had a habit of frequenting men, but no one expected her to bring a man to play with the night before the wedding. The main family's grand elder discovered it, and as a result, the engagement was annulled. Originally, Black Ghost Valley was going to accept you as a favor to gain the upper hand in the alliance, but since we found such serious misconduct on their side as well, both sides were at fault, and we decided to annul the engagement without further words. Then, just as Zhou Yian's face was about to brighten, the elder shouted furiously, "Don't get any foolish ideas. Your next political marriage will be arranged soon. However, because of the rumors of your bestiality, it will be harder to find a match." Puck. The elder struck Zhou Yian's face violently. Puck. He continued to beat Zhou Yian with his own hands as he spoke. Consider yourself lucky, you piece of trash. If the other party hadn't been so promiscuous, I would have personally melted you and that beast down as materials for my Dharma treasure. Damn it, it makes my blood boil. Now I have to run around finding another match for this garbage. After furiously beating Zhou Yian until he was near death, the elder stormed out of the room, saying, "Reflect on your actions, and you'd better raise your cultivation quickly. If you don't raise your worth, no one will be willing to marry someone who engaged in bestiality. If, because of your bestiality, you fail to secure an arranged marriage, I'll personally bring your pet and tear it to pieces in front of you." Understood. Zhou Yian bowed to the elder as he left the room. And then he made up his mind. Let's raise my cultivation. This was also an opportunity. The elder had said that only by raising his cultivation could Zhou Yian have a chance of marriage, but raising his realm also meant having more choices. Core formation. No, if I can reach grand perfection chi building, the clan won't be able to treat me like an insignificant bug anymore. When that time comes, he might not be able to avoid the political marriage, but no one would be able to stop him from living with Han. Being with a mortal is considered bestiality. So what? Among those at the Grand Perfection Chi building stage, some of the truly eccentric practitioners of devilish arts even engaged in real bestiality. The elder probably thought that even if Zhou Yian raised his realm, he would only reach the mid-Chi building stage at most. However, Zhou Yian already internalized insights on the level of core formation long ago in his youth. The only reason he had maintained his early Qi building stage cultivation was because extending his lifespan too much would mean that no matter how many spiritual elixirs he gave her, he wouldn't be able to die on the same day as Han. But now was not the time to worry about such things. Even if I reach the golden core stage, extend my lifespan to beyond 600 years, and can no longer grow old together with Han, I must raise my realm now. Zhou Yian swore that he would raise his cultivation, and from that day, he nearly shut himself in his room. Time passed. 5 years went by, and Zhou Yian's marriage partner still hadn't been decided. The core formation elder had threatened to find Han and kill her if no partner was arranged within 10 years, but Zhou Yian wasn't afraid. Woang. Though he hid it from the elder, Zhou Yian's cultivation had already reached the late Qi building stage. Core formation is not far off. Even more, his extraordinary pattern law talent showed signs of evolving once again. Perhaps because he had spent the last 5 years diligently practicing artifact crafting and awakening his talent, 2 of the 6 patterns were showing signs of merging again. Because of this, the Zhou clan was being more cautious in selecting a marriage partner for him, which had delayed the process. After the elder left, Zhou Yian smiled faintly and resumed his cultivation. The day I can truly be with her is not far off. It was then. Hey, hunchback, late-stage disciples entered Zhou Yian's room. Quote. Zhou Yian looked at them with doubt. They were the same late-stage disciples who had witnessed him and Han with the elder that day. They had all married high-ranking members of Black Ghost Valley by now and held considerable status within the clan. One of them approached Zhou Yian, patted him on the shoulder, and handed him a wooden box. I heard your pattern law talent is about to evolve again. Haha, I really do wonder if you're the same fool from before. If you become a 5 pattern law talent, won't you finally be on our level? One of the late-stage disciples, born with the 5 pattern law talent, put his arm around Zhou Yian's shoulder as if they were close. He was the same late-stage disciple who had bullied Zhou Yian the most since childhood. I'm sorry for bothering you in the past. Once you become a 5 pattern law talent, you'll finally be a person, so we shouldn't hold grudges like before. With an unpleasant smile, he thrust the wooden box at Zhou Yian. Take it, it's a spiritual elixir. Suddenly, Zhou Yian felt an inexplicable sense of discomfort and disgust rising within him. Quote. What kind of elixir is this? You know it. It's an emotion advancement pill, Qing Jin Dan. Quote. Exclamation mark quote. The emotion advancement pill. A pill created by the Zhou clan, specifically for those with the extraordinary pattern law talent. It was an exceptional pill, its recipe known only to a select few among the clan's alchemists. My uncle is one of the top alchemists in the main family. I gave him some rare ingredients, and he personally crafted this special emotion advancement pill. He was thrilled, saying he'd never worked with such special ingredients before. The late-stage disciple said this with a subtle expression. Come, eat it. Although the 6 pattern law talents are trash, the 5 pattern law talent is still useful to the main family, so you too will become a useful asset to the clan. You might think I bothered you a little when we were young, but it was all done thinking for your sake, to toughen you up, you know. So don't misunderstand. Zhou Yian took the wooden box containing the emotion advancement pill, hesitating for a moment. For some reason, he felt a deep sense of discomfort and disgust. And as he hesitated, the late-stage disciple's face twisted into an irritated expression. Hey, what's with that look? That pill took my uncle years to make. Are you disrespecting me and my uncle right now? That's not it. It's just giving something so precious to someone like me. You keep trying to refuse. Go ahead and eat one right here. If you keep disregarding our goodwill, we won't just sit still either. You know we have your pet's whereabouts, right? Quote. Zhou Yian's face darkened. He sighed and opened the wooden box. Inside, there were 3 pills subtly glowing with a pale pink hue. Precious pills that amplifies the talent of an extraordinary pattern law talent. Why would he give such a valuable thing to someone he bullied since childhood? Zhou Yian looked at his intent. His intent was filled with a purple pleasure. Is this malice or goodwill? His consciousness method was incomplete. Even for Zhou Yian, interpreting the enlightenment of 5 energies converging to the origin wasn't an easy task. He could barely see the color tones, and he could only barely guess at the intentions behind those colors. I can't grasp the exact intention. In the end, Zhou Yian swallowed the pill in front of them. It didn't seem like it was poisoned. As soon as he ate it, a gentle energy began to circulate throughout his body. It felt as if a warm hand was softly caressing his body. Pooh ha 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 ha. Watching this, the late-stage disciples all burst out laughing at once. They seemed to be thoroughly enjoying themselves. Zhou Yian couldn't understand their intentions. Good, good, really good, you hunchbacked brat. After patting Zhou Yian's back, the late-stage disciples left his room, saying, "We'll leave so you can absorb the medicinal effects. Then, eat well and become a brilliant talent for the main family, you brat." Zhou Yian stared at the door they had exited for a moment. Then he looked at the remaining elixirs in the wooden box. For some reason, he had a bad feeling. But still, I should eat them, because he had to grow stronger to seize an opportunity. If he became a 5-pattern law talent, the clan wouldn't be able to completely ignore his opinions. And, if this emotion advancement pill works, perhaps. Zhou Yian thought he could perhaps even aim for the 4-pattern law talent. If I become a 4-pattern law talent, maybe the family would allow me to live openly with Han. I must. Zhou Yian made a vow while looking at the pills. I will definitely be with her next time. Now was the time to raise his realm and talents by any means necessary. To be with her. With that thought, Zhou Yian picked up another pill and swallowed it. The 6 marks that appeared on his face merged together to form 5. Zhou Yian muttered briefly, "Wait for me, dear." The medicinal effects of the emotion advancement pill were still swirling inside him. He felt that once he absorbed all of its effects, the path to becoming a 4-pattern law talent would open. I will definitely come for you. To grow old together, to be with each other for 100 years. Zhou Yian's eyes lit up with determination as he touched his chest. Because that is what we promised. Bubbling, bubbling, bubbling. Above a massive body of a dying sea dragon, oozing with purple foam. There, a man wearing a bamboo hat with vacant eyes stroked the sea dragon's corpse with a grin. Ho ho, though I guided it with my own hands, the Zhou clan is truly beyond imagination. I merely stimulated their nature, and yet to go that far, but more importantly. His pupils split vertically. In the end, if it turns out like that, it seems it wasn't what I'm looking for. Because that thing's setting, Shiding, is to die together on the same day and same moment. Clicking his tongue in disappointment, the man pulled something from the body of the sea dragon, whose eyes had rolled back in death. 5 years passed. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. Inside one of the training cave residences of the Zhou clan. A loud rumble echoed as heaven and earth's spiritual energy surged into the cave. What's going on? One of the elders of the Zhou clan looked towards the direction of the cave residence. This celestial phenomenon, could it be? As if realizing something, he flinched in shock and flew towards the training cave. A short while later, a powerful pressure of heaven and earth's spiritual energy rushed out from inside the cave. Coo-goo-goo. The doors to the training residence opened, and Zhou Yian emerged from inside. And no, what is this? The elder's mouth dropped open. The one who emerged from within the training cave residence was Zhou Yian, the very person the elder had once threatened, saying he would kill his pet if Zhou Yian failed to find a match. Seeing Zhou Yian, the elder inhaled sharply. You've reached core formation, but more than that. He was stunned as he looked at the marks that had appeared on Zhou Yian's skin. F4 pattern law talent. A 4-pattern law talent. How is this possible? A 7-pattern law talent evolved into a 4-pattern law talent. Even if you eat emotion advancement pills like rice, evolving the law talent isn't easy. How many times have you evolved already? But regardless of the elder's astonishment, Zhou Yian simply smiled faintly. Have you been well, elder? Quote. I've broken through to the core formation stage and even attained the 4-pattern law talent. Zhou Yian gestured behind him. Inside the training cave residence, countless magic artifacts that Zhou Yian had crafted over the years to evolve his extraordinary pattern law talent were piled up. I'll dedicate all these magic artifacts and Dharma treasures to the clan. With this much, elder, don't you think I should be able to choose my own marriage partner? Quote. The elder looked at Zhou Yian with an incredulous expression, then sighed. Quote. Do as you wish. To think you were hiding such talent, it's surprising. Here, this is the magic artifact that records the location of that mortal you cherish. Whether you go to her or not is up to you as I promised. Ever since that day, I've completely left her alone and haven't touched her. Haha, thank you. After thanking the elder, Zhou Yian quickly went to the Grand Elder and the clan head to pay his respects. The clan head and Grand Elder's praise left through one ear, his mind solely focused on the moment he could go to see Han. Finally, when the clan head finished his words of advice and well-wishing toward Zhou Yian made his request. Clan head, now that I've reached the golden core stage and attained the 4-pattern law talent, I believe I have the right to choose my own marriage partner. That is true. Do you have a prestigious clan or a disciple from a major sect in mind? I want to marry a martial artist. What? The nascent soul stage clan head's face turned red with anger and shouted. When I heard those rumors about bestiality or whatever, I thought they were lies, but to think you still carry such perverse tastes. Goo. The clan head raised his aura in rage, but barely managed to control his anger as he sat back down. If you were only a 5-pattern law talent, or merely at the chi building stage, I would have personally beaten you to death. But given your realm and talent, I won't kill you. Do as you wish. However, even if you keep a pet, you will marry the woman chosen by the clan. Thank you. Zhou Yian nodded, dissatisfied but at least having gained permission. I'm confident I'll rise to the nascent soul stage with my 4-pattern law talent. When that day comes, no one would be able to stop him from officially marrying Han. Though the idea of spending only 100 years with Han was a bit regrettable, if he gathered all the rare medicines on the continent and raised her to the core formation stage, they could possibly spend 1,000 years together. With such dreams in mind, Zhou Yian left the audience chamber and took out the magic artifact that recorded Haun's location. As expected of the Zhou clan, renowned for their genius in artifact crafting, creating a magic artifact that could track a single mortal's location was an all-too-easy feat. The elder must have made this just in case, but hasn't activated it once in 10 years. Zhou Yian analyzed the structure of the artifact. It seems to track her movements based on her blood information and leads me to her location. The craftsmanship is unnecessarily high. Anyway, this damned Zhou clan, if they have this level of skill, bestowing mortals a year of abundance. Though he harbored a slight grudge toward the Zhou clan, Zhou Yian felt as if he could fly. It felt like nothing but happiness awaited him now. Even the Zhou clan, which he had disliked to this day, seemed to now give him a faint sense of belonging. Well, that's enough. Let's go. Wing. The moment Zhou Yian activated the magic artifact, wings sprouted from the round artifact, and it floated into the air. The magic artifact flapped its wings and headed in a certain direction. Zhou Yian followed it using the flying escape technique. Since it'll take a lot of spiritual power to travel east, I should replenish with elixirs or spirit stones before. Then, Zhou Yian noticed something strange. The artifact wasn't heading east. It was headed toward a corner of the Zhou clan's main family. Zhou Yian's eyes widened. Wait, could it be? He felt a sense of disbelief. She wasn't in the east, but hidden within the Zhou clan's main family. Then again, even for the Zhou clan, a 5 energies converging to the origin martial artist like Han had worth as a bodyguard for their chi-refining disciples. That might be how they were using her. To think she was close by all along and I never knew. The main family must have controlled the information. No, was it because I was too focused on cultivation and didn't pay attention? Regardless, Wing, the magic artifact passed through the sparring grounds, cultivation rooms, the magic artifact refining chamber, and headed toward a secluded corner of the main family. It was going to the pill refining room. What's this? Zhou Yian stared at the magic artifact that arrived at the front of the pill refining room, puzzled. As Han inside, he carefully opened the door and stepped inside. Since even a core formation cultivator like him couldn't enter the pill refining room carelessly, Zhou Yian proceeded with caution. As he opened the door, the magic artifact flew to a corner of the pill refining room. Dear, are you there? Zhou Yian, with a trembling heart, followed the magic artifact. Then, the artifact stopped. It halted in front of the flame vent that ignited earth fire for the alchemy furnace. Zhou Yian briefly looked around. Han was nowhere to be seen. Is the magic artifact broken? He touched the artifact, but from the perspective of someone who had reached the level of the 4-pattern law talent, the magic artifact was not broken. He could feel Haun's blood registered within the artifact. The chi within the blood was undoubtedly Haun's, as Zhou Yian remembered it. Zhou Yian fiddled with the artifact again, muttering to himself. How strange. It seems broken, but I can't figure it out with my skills. It was then Zhou Yian heard someone approaching behind him, yawning. Combining medicinal ingredients isn't easy. Hey, wait, who are you? Zhou Yian turned around. It was the same late-stage disciple who had given him the emotion advancement pill in the past. The late-stage disciple smiled with a cheerful face the moment he saw Zhou Yian. Well, look who it is. Isn't it the hunchback? Haha, did you just come out of seclusion? How'd it go? Made any progress? I'm already at the late Qi building stage without even going into seclusion. Let's see how far you, As he checked Zhou Yian's consciousness and spiritual pressure, the late-stage disciple's expression changed. What? Then, Zhou Yian reached out toward the late-stage disciple. Clench. Grabbing the late-stage disciple by both shoulders, Zhou Yian asked. Where is she? The late-stage disciple's face turned pale. How did someone like you reach core formation? Where? Crunch. He spoke to the late-stage disciple who was babbling nonsense. Is she? You. It was at that moment. Clench. Someone appeared in the room and grabbed Zhou Yian's hand. Zhou Yian looked at the person. The late-stage disciple's uncle. A grand perfection core formation stage great elder, just about to enter the nascent soul stage. Amazing. I didn't expect that hunchback my nephew mentioned would grow to this level. Where is she? Zhou Yian asked him with a sharp glare. Before the great elder could respond, the late-stage disciple hid behind him and sneered. Haha, you mean your pet? Didn't we keep our promise? We said we'd let you meet her again. What? Over there. Your pet is over there. The late-stage disciple pointed to Zhou Yian's stomach. Zhou Yian briefly looked down at his own stomach, then glanced at the flame vent of the alchemy furnace, before turning his gaze back to the great elder. Finally, his eyes settled on the late-stage disciple. Saw. You. A cold aura began to spread around Zhou Yian. You uncle. HMPH, you made a mistake. You didn't tell me he cared this much for a pet. The grand elder blocked Zhou Yian's path and spoke. My nephew was a bit hasty, but you should understand. In the end, wasn't it just livestock? Besides, those 300 emotion advancement pills made from your pet were truly of excellent quality. The clan's late-stage disciples, the clan head, the elders, and even the supreme grand elders all consumed them and achieved remarkable improvements in their aptitudes. It must have died happily knowing it was of immense help to the Zhou clan. If you have any complaints, speak up. It was a rather special kind of livestock, so we can compensate you. If you need another pet, we can bring a few more from the secular world. If you have no complaints, leave. The pill refining room is not a place for even core formation elders of the clan to enter recklessly. Zhou Yian walked past the grand elder and left. He returned to his room in a daze. Then he looked down at his hand. Crunch. Zhou Yian bit down on his own hand. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Blood began to flow from his hand. Crunch, 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 crunch. Zhou Yian didn't care about the flowing blood, biting until his bones were exposed. Drip, drip, red liquid began to flow from Zhou Yian's eyes. He understood what he had eaten. Crack, 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 crack. He resented his own hand. He resented his mouth for thoughtlessly eating anything. SSSS's. The 4 patterns on Zhou Yian's face began to blur, gradually starting to resemble 3 patterns again. That day, Zhou Yian went mad. Everything else in his mind disappeared, leaving only a single goal. The annihilation of the Zhou clan. With that as his sole purpose, he threw himself into revenge and madness. 453. Around 600 years passed. During that time, many events occurred in the cultivation world. A young boy who found a secret manual on a cliff founded a sect called the Azure Heaven Creation Sect and opposed the Zhou clan's influence. The marriage alliance between the Zhou clan, the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, and the Black Ghost Valley began to weaken as a new generation took over leadership in those 2 sects. And around that time, the head of the Zhou clan and the Council of Elders convened another meeting. The era of our Zhou clan has arrived. The heavenly being stage cultivators of the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, Black Ghost Valley, and other demon race factions all ascended to the upper world with the recent opening of the Ascension Gate. However, the heavenly being stage cultivators of the Zhou clan, who possessed extraordinary pattern law talent, did not ascend. It was because of their heavenly punishment. Thus, the Zhou clan naturally became the foremost power on the continent, possessing the greatest number of heavenly being stage cultivators. Over the 600 years, the number of heavenly being stage cultivators in the Zhou clan had increased to 10. The clan head spoke confidently. Now, without a doubt, the Zhou clan is the greatest on the continent. We can bring any sect to its knees by force. But the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, Black Ghost Valley, and others, sects with deep foundations that have senior members who ascended to the higher realms. If we forcefully annex them and those seniors descend, it would be disastrous. Therefore, we must proceed more moderately and absorb them gradually. What method do you think is best? The mass marriage alliance we held 600 years ago. Back then, we arranged widespread marriages between lower-ranked disciples of the clans and sects, forming a light alliance. But this time, we will establish an even stronger alliance. We will arrange marriages between core formation elders from each sect and clan, slowly bringing them into the Zhou clan. That sounds good. As expected of the clan head. Truly, the genius who evolved the 3-pattern law into the 2-pattern law in the shortest in record time. Thanks to clan head, our Zhou clan is experiencing an unprecedented golden age. Kwang, inside the meeting hall where the clan head and the grand elders were gathered. The door to the meeting hall suddenly burst open, and someone walked in. The clan head furrowed his brow and shouted, "Who do you think you are? How dare you barge into the Elder Council meeting? Everyone, quiet." The hunchbacked figure who had entered the hall shouted loudly. "From now on, I, Zhou Yian, a descendant of the Zhou clan, have something to say." It was Zhou Yian. After scanning the meeting hall with glossy eyes, he ran a hand across his face. TSTSTSTSTSTSTSTs. As the pattern on Zhou Yian's face became visible, everyone in the hall was shocked. This. One pattern law talent. They all shot to their feet, grinning with joy. Amazing. A one pattern law talent has appeared. How many thousands of years has it been since this happened? Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Truly, the age of the Zhou clan is upon us. The clan head, his face brimming with excitement, shouted. With a one pattern law talent, we don't need marriage alliances or anything else. We can just conquer everything. Ha ha. Well done, well done. Your name? Yes, it was Zhou Yian. You've done well. Shut up for a moment. I can't hear properly. But Zhou Yian, showing no interest in the clan head's words, placed a hand to his ear as if focusing on a distant voice. Zhou Yian's eyes flashed as he spoke. Good. Then I will give you one last chance. Clan head, and members of the Elder Council. Do you remember the name of my wife, Wal Ha'an, who died 600 years ago? At those words, the clan head and the grand elders exchanged puzzled glances. As the higher-ups of the Zhou clan, they knew most of the elders at the core formation stage and above. But none of them remembered Zhou Yian ever being married. Who is that? The clan head asked, puzzled. Zhou Yian's eyes twitched. Yes, ignorance is not a sin. I will enlighten you. My wife was a martial artist. She was the disciple and adopted daughter of Wal Bai, the martial artist of 5 energies converging to the origin from the Wal clan of Biokra. Wait. The clan head shook his head as if he had a headache and interrupted Zhou Yian's words. What you're saying right now is, that pet from 600 years ago was your wife. Well, I understand if you have strange preferences, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention acts like bestiality in such an official setting. After all, this is a gathering of elders, is it not? The clan head was displeased, but seeing the single pattern emerging on Zhou Yian's face, he gritted his teeth. So, if you could just show a bit more formality. You all have 2 choices. Zhou Yian crossed his arms and spoke confidently. First, you and I mobilize everything we have to find a way to see my wife again and beg for her forgiveness. Second, you go directly to where my wife is and ask for her forgiveness. A chill spread through the meeting hall at Zhou Yian's words. So, you're saying we either resurrect the dead or die ourselves? The clan head shook his head in disbelief. Ha, you're going too far with your jokes. Just because you lost one pet. Crack. In the next moment, the clan head was split in half and killed. Not only his body, but even his nascent soul was cleaved in 2 in a single strike, leaving no possibility of revival. What in the world? Is this an attack? As the grand elders panicked, Zhou Yian shouted again. Everyone quiet. Sit down. You disrespectful brat, a clan elder has just died and you dare. Kwang. the moment one of the Grand Elders were about to shout at Zhou Yian. As expected, the Grand Elder's body was also split in two, just like the clan head. Only then did the Grand Elders fall silent, staring at Zhou Yian. It was because they could see that the Grand Elder who spoke was killed at Zhou Yian's mere gesture. One of the Grand Elders asked in a trembling voice. You, just now. Did you kill the clan head and a Grand Eld? Kukwik, the Grand Elder who opened their mouth was also split in two and killed. Zhou Yian, his eyes gleaming wildly, looked around at the Grand Elders and muttered. I told you to be quiet. I can't hear the voice properly. Quote. This is your last chance. Will you help me find a way to resurrect my wife, or will you all die? For a moment, silence reigned over the Grand Elders. And then, Kwang, the ceiling of the hall was blown away, and 10 heavenly being stage supreme Grand Elders of the Zhou clan appeared. We came because the clan head was killed, and what is this? The appearance of the heavenly being stage supreme Grand Elders brought hope to the eyes of the Grand Elders. Elders, you've arrived just in time. This madman is trying to stage a rebellion. That Zhou Yian bastard killed the clan head. Please, elders, punish him. The Zhou clan's heavenly being stage cultivators glared at Zhou Yian and shouted. You bastard, do you realize your crime? Kurururung. The heavens roared, heaven and earth's spiritual energy trembled. A terrifying pressure weighed down on the entire area. However, even under the immense pressure, Zhou Yian sneered. Quote. I definitely said this was the last chance. Isn't that right, dear? The next moment, the heavenly being supreme Grand Elders and the nascent soul Grand Elders were startled to see a woman standing behind Zhou Yian, emerging from the shadows. Grand Perfection Heavenly Being, when did such a high person appear? Ignoring the loud Zhou clan, Zhou Yian turned around and gently stroked the woman's cheek. The woman resembled Han. She looked just like she did in the final moments Zhou Yian had shared with Han. Though there was no burn scar on her face, there were pockmarks, and though she appeared intelligent, her face was angular. Not exactly a beautiful face. She wore a pure white robe, and like when Zhou Yian and Han had first become lovers, her face was veiled by a plain cloth, hiding her appearance. Zhou Yian caressed her cheek. It was cold. He stared at the puppet in Haun's form and murmured quietly. Just end it all for me. Dear. The next moment, she became light and soared into the sky. Wielding short spears in both hands, she rushed at a heavenly being supreme Grand Elder, splitting him in half and killing him in a single strike. Hyok, this is insane. The realm of Zhou Yuan's body was merely at the Grand Perfection Core Formation stage, but she was a puppet who partially rose to the Grand Perfection Heavenly Being stage over 600 years. A masterpiece completed by pouring in all his obsession. Zhou Yian, who had completed her, burst into maniacal laughter and shouted. Now, then, let it all be annihilated. My clan, the Zhou clan burned, and a great massacre ensued. It was caused by just one Grand Perfection Heavenly Being stage puppet. The tragedy was wrought by the puppet known as her. Please, spare me. Please spare me. Zhou Yian smiled as he watched the clan's elders being dragged before him. Throw them in. In addition to her, Zhou Yian began controlling puppets at the nascent soul level to systematically destroy the clan. One Grand Perfection Core Formation Elder was thrown whole into a refining furnace by a nascent soul level puppet. Gua, Gurg, GRK. After some time, the Grand Perfection Core Formation Elder emerged from the Zhou clan's refining furnace as a single pill. It was the Emotion Advancement Pill, the pride of the Zhou clan. Gulp. Zhou Yian swallowed the Emotion Advancement Pill. It was originally a pill made from grinding down mortals, taking several years to refine, but when it was made from cultivators, the refinement was completed in an instant. Zhou Yian smiled in satisfaction as he observed the quickly finished pills. Hey, Zhou Yian. You remember me, right? I treated you so well. Zhou Yian looked at the late-stage disciple who had fed Han to him, now dragged before him. With a gentle expression, Zhou Yian ordered the puppet. Rip out his tongue. Then, taking out numerous healing pills and elixirs he had taken from the Zhou clan's treasure vault he said. And feed these to him, so he regenerates. Repeat it until his mind breaks. Zhou Yian, with a relaxed gaze, began refining the entire Zhou clan into pills and swallowing them. They said she was turned into 300 pills and fed to the late-stage disciples and higher-ups. No one knew exactly who had consumed Han. Thus, Zhou Yian made one decisive choice to retrieve Han, who had entered the bellies of his clan members. You will all become one with me. A decision made to completely become one with Han. Zhou Yian endlessly consumed the emotion advancement pills, which had surpassed even the highest grade due to being made from cultivators. Don't worry. And, the more emotion advancement pills he ate, the more of his clan he devoured, the greater the madness took root in Zhou Yian's mind. I will never forget any of you. Zhou Yian used all his consciousness to remember every single member of his clan, screaming and wailing before him. After all, they were his blood relatives. You will all become one with my world. Zhou Yian firmly imprinted the images of the screaming people into his consciousness. It was to bear the original sin of devouring his clan. And with each person he consumed, Zhou Yian felt the noise in his head grow louder. His mind gradually filled with endless shouting and screams. Crunch. At last, Zhou Yian devoured all the members of his clan. The late-stage disciple, who had gone mad after having his tongue ripped out again and again, was the last to enter Zhou Yian's belly. Ha. Unlike 600 years ago when he had been half mad, Zhou Yian was now completely insane. Hearing the resentment and hallucinations of his clan members, he shed tears. Are you all right over there, dear? He said, hugging her lovingly. Look, didn't I tell you that our clan members aren't truly evil people? Look, in the end, they're racking their brains with me, trying to find a way to meet you again, right? Isn't that so? Pretending to listen to the empty air, Zhou Yian laughed. Ah, see, my clan members are responsible people. They're saying how they'll be one with me like this and meet dear again to apologize, meet dear again. Mumbling nonsense while grinning at the empty air, Zhou Yian grabbed her body. Then, he shouted, again, I want to see you again. He raised his voice in agony, looking up at the sky. Again, if I could go back to that moment. If I could return to the moment when I met you, I would never hesitate. Even if it meant dying together, I would run away with you while holding the wedding. We swore that we would die on the same day, at the same time, didn't we? Right, so, again. In his eyes, the moment he first met Han was reflected. Every moment he shared with her flashed by. He recalled the words she had said to him. It's only strange because you perceive it that way, but in my eyes, yes. It's wonderfully mysterious, in a way that's quite fascinating and beautiful. Strange Guai Qi bizarre and wonderfully mysterious Qi Miao are, essentially, differences in perception. For some reason, those words lingered in Zhou Yian's mind. Zhou Yian let out a voice filled with pain. Again, even if just once, I will recreate that moment. From the ruins of the Zhou clan, one hunchback who had lost everything and gone mad. Having consumed beyond the limits of the emotion advancement pills, he reached a place transcending even the one pattern law talent and vowed to recreate the one moment that had been the most valuable in his life. He swore before her, even if just once. That day, Zhou Yian hugged her in his embrace and was determined. Even though there was no difference between bizarre and wonderfully mysterious, he resolved that he would become a bizarre monster henceforth. Recognizing himself as a monster, even if it meant pouring out countless sacrifices. He would wait for the day he could see her again. Only then, he believed he would return not as a bizarre monster, but as Zhou Yian from that wonderfully mysterious and beautiful time. He made that resolution. I am. Looking at her in his arms, he muttered. The father Fu Jun of monsters Guai Wu. Contemplating his bizarre and hideous self within his madness. Zhou Yian thus became the Mad Lord Guai Jun. TLN. I mentioned way back that Mad Lord really means bizarre strange lord. Monster Guai Wu also means freak, and the first Hanja means strange bizarre. Bagoon Fu Jun, which was just translated as father, is a formal and respectful way of calling someone their father in historical times. It can be translated literally as father lord. Hence, put together, it creates bizarre strange lord. Author's note. In yesterday's note, I announced that the Mad Lord episode would be finished in one chapter. However, as I added more emotional depth, the length increased, and it ended up becoming 3 chapters. I have no excuse if you accuse me of indulging in a character I favor. However, I really wanted to share about the character known as Mad Lord with my readers. I am well aware that melodramatic elements can be seen as a drawback in regression and cultivation stories. But even though it may be dripping with melodrama, I wanted to express this character called the Mad Lord. You could say it was the author's inability to suppress their own desires over the consideration of the readers. If there were any readers who found it boring, I sincerely apologize as a web novel author for not providing a faster-paced development. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks and love to the readers who have read up to this point. Always thankful, and once again, thank you. 454. I peeked into the Mad Lord's memories. And I came to know of his life. Quote. Pot. As I regain my senses, the true bodies of the 7 esteemed ones of an era are in the process of being summoned around the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Quietly, I raise my sword and aim it toward them. Next to me, Seo Weol appears with a faint smile. Ohai Seo's aura has once again disappeared outside the bright cold realm. Now, the only thing left beside the Mad Lord is Kim Yeon's consciousness. Seo Weol smiles faintly and speaks. Quite turbulent, isn't it? The old man's life. Because of that state, I couldn't use tainted soul filling the heavens on him. I glare at Seo Weol in silence and grip the colorless glass sword. At last, I understand the secret of Mad Lord's heart essence. The reason why I felt countless cries and screams filled with agony when I previously entered his heart essence. It was because Zhou Yian devoured the entire Zhou clan, embedding them wholly into his consciousness, much like my own canvas of myriad forms and connections. No matter how much he resented them, it was still an expression of the Mad Lord's own guilt for killing his blood relatives. That is the true cause of the madness he harbors. You're the one who fed her to Zhou Yian, aren't you? Seo Weol shrugs his shoulders. Ho. All I did was guide the Zhou clan to separate her from Zhou Yian through tainted soul filling the heavens. The ones who actually did the deed were the Zhou clan, who treated everyone outside cultivators as livestock. At his explanation, I let out a hollow laugh. They probably never truly understood why they were annihilated until the very end. From their perspective, they merely plucked a radish from the field they were cultivating. Quote. The cultivation world is truly repulsive. Leaving Seo Weol behind, I charged toward the 7 esteemed ones of an era. In this world, the strong devouring the weak is not only considered common sense but is rather regarded as the natural order. The belief that cultivation is essentially plunder is the law of this world and the absolute truth. As I face esteemed one Sui Ryong, who is spewing coral, I grit my teeth. O owner of Salt Mountain, the being who pushed forward the truth that cultivation is repentant enlightenment. I ask that being silently. Is it not you who is wrong? Kukwik. With one slash, I fend off esteemed one Sui Ryong, the cut esteemed one Gui Ryak and esteemed one Yuk Nyang who rush from behind. This world is insane. The notion that the strong eat the weak has gone beyond being considered merely natural and reached a level of madness. In this insane world, is it not you who proclaimed that cultivation is repentant enlightenment, the one who is truly insane? I swing my sword, gritting my teeth. As I witnessed the Mad Lord's life, I felt it deep in my bones. There is no hope, not in this world or anywhere else. Watching the Mad Lord's life, where he devoured his lover with his own hands, I came to realize one thing. This world is ultimately governed by fate. And if that fate is the heavens, does that not mean that the heavens are a being that can become so cruel to a single person? If that's the case, then isn't this world under those heavens nothing but hell? The Salt Mountain, who shouted repentant enlightenment, was annihilated while the owner of Great Mountain, who piled up mountains of slaughter, pain, despair, and grief, remains. Isn't that proof? Doesn't the death of the virtuous and noble Yu Haote, while Blood Yin remains, also prove it as well? Clench. I grip the colorless glass sword even tighter. When hearts connect with one another, shouldn't that be an infinite blessing? There was a time when I thought that. But look, in this world, the connection of hearts can instead bring even more pain. Is it because my own pain has surfaced while watching the Mad Lord's past? Or is it because Blood Yin is amplifying my negative emotions? I swing my sword with a gloomy heart as I face the esteemed ones. I can sense the Mad Lord beginning to regain consciousness. But suddenly, a thought crosses my mind. Even if Yian's play is activated, the bright cold realm is already no different from hell due to the tyranny of the heaven and earth tribes. If that's the case, wouldn't it be not so bad to let Blood Yin consume? Taoist Seo. Flinch. I come back to my senses due to Seo Weol's tainted soul filling the heavens. The stickiness of his tainted soul filling the heavens clings to my mind, preventing me from falling completely into darkness. Reflect on yourself. Quote. As he says, I reflect on myself. Blood devilish energy surges from my entire body. My eyes are not just bloodshot, they've turned fully red. Single quote. Ha, I understand why my mind had briefly gone astray. The owner of the Blood Yin realm. The true immortal Blood Yin directly took action against me, who was facing off the esteemed ones. I feel my mind gradually sinking into the darkness. Is this the power of Blood Yin? However, I don't feel the same fierce urge to escape Blood Yin's authority like before. Perhaps it's because I no longer feel the urge to deny the negative power that Blood Yin whispers. I simply search, powerlessly, for that divine voice that had once whispered in my ear. O Salt Mountain, in this world, what meaning does repentant enlightenment have? What meaning do you think? Reflecting on oneself means cultivating oneself. If the strong eating the weak is the truth and plundering is absolute, then eventually those who consider it absolute will also be devoured and plundered by someone stronger. Why are you here? But those who cultivate themselves and grow will, even if they perish, only perish due to their own selves. What they hold would not be taken from others. What they have nurtured will remain with them, even if the world itself perishes. A familiar old man with a goat-like beard is angrily scolding in front of me. So get a grip, you dim-witted thing. Flash. Upon seeing Cheongman Ryong, I snap back to my senses. But as soon as I do, Cheongman Ryong vanishes from sight. What remains is only the pure white light emanating from Bukhyongwa's Norige. I gaze at the Norige for a moment and then smile. Was it Cheongman Ryong who answered me through the Norige? Or was it the owner of Salt Mountain who answered my question in the form of Cheongman Ryong? Ah, I know the answer immediately. It wasn't given by someone else. It was something within me. The Cheongman Ryong within my canvas of myriad forms and connections must have surely responded as such, showing me the vision as I have already come to that judgment myself. The Norige was merely a trigger. One who grows by plundering from others will, in the end, also be plundered. But one who grows through repentant enlightenment will, even when the end comes, leave behind what they've built. Now I finally understand why the owner of Salt Mountain, who was said to have been annihilated, left behind so much authority. It's because they did not grow by plundering others, but grew by cultivating themselves, which is why so much still remains. What is gained through repentant enlightenment will never perish. TSSAAAHHHHH. A pure white light begins to radiate from my body. Somehow, from far off in the distance, from beyond even the universe, I feel the glare of someone vicious watching me. But somehow, I feel that this someone, though glaring at me, will not harm me. Though they may hate me, I feel they acknowledge me as well. Emboldened by that feeling, I drive out the heart demon awakening inside me. Hear this, Mad Lord. I speak to the Mad Lord, who is just beginning to regain consciousness. Cooing, the forms of the esteemed ones in front of me begin to change. Purple soul filling the heavens. 6 harmonies fully blooming, Lue Mankai. Esteemed one Hill Gi becomes iron. Becoming a mountain of steel, they take their place in the western side of Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Esteemed one Gui Ryak becomes a river. Becoming a river of darkness, they take their place in the northern side of Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Esteemed one Yuk Nyung becomes a tree. Sprouting from a body made of red soil, they become a blood tree in the eastern side. Esteemed one Weon becomes fire. Burning their body away, they illuminate the southern side of Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Esteemed one Gyuk Hal becomes the sky. Becoming hideous stars that gaze down from above, they cover the sky. Finally, esteemed one Sui Ryong becomes the land. Kugugugugugu, their body made of red coral, collapses, and coral begins to sprout across the entire continent of the bright cold realm. The mountain of irons hardens the corals, the river of darkness flows between the corals, the massive blood tree decays and nourishes the corals, and the flames provide warmth to the corals. From the stars that have become the eyes of the sky, I feel a gaze. It is no longer the gaze of Gyuk Hal. Obey me. Among the Blood Yin realm 7 esteemed ones of an era, except for Gyu Qian, who was born in the bright cold realm and crossed over to the Blood Yin realm, all the esteemed ones who became so in the Blood Yin realm have lost themselves and become vessels that are no different than vessels for the authority of Blood Yin. No, their situation is even more wretched than becoming vessels. For they have lost themselves forever. O authority of Tridacna, Cheku, coral and shell. The red Tridacna, manifested from esteemed one Sui Ryong, spreads over the bright cold realm, dyeing the entire world red. I can feel it. Soon, this world will become the Blood Yin realm. I speak again to the Mad Lord. Can you hear me, Mad Lord? The Mad Lord's consciousness returns. Recalling the enlightenment I gained upon witnessing the Mad Lord's life, and seeing the vision of Chung Moon Ryong and overcoming the heart demon, I speak. You are a sinner. You plundered the lives and hearts of countless people to create the evil structure known as the wonderfully mysterious fortress. For your goal, you pushed hundreds of millions, trillions of living beings into the sufferings of hell. Therefore, you are undeniably a villain and a plunderer. There is no response from the Mad Lord. For some reason, his consciousness feels powerless. I raise my sword as I gaze at the world changing before my eyes. All around, monsters, including hard heavenly demons, begin to appear. But, these hard heavenly demons are different from the ones before. Empowered by the might of Blood Yin, they possess even more terrifying authority as they eye the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Kugwagwagwang. The onslaught of Blood Yin strikes the wonderfully mysterious fortress. It seems as though there is a will to completely crush the wonderfully mysterious fortress, which has the potential to summon the power of vast cold. Her, on the other hand, built everything up solely by herself. So, even as I feel the terrifying army of heart heavenly demons and the gaze of Blood Yin, I loudly convey my enlightenment to the Mad Lord. Within you, the power she has passed on, her heart, remains whole. I had thought the wonderfully mysterious fortress had regained its consciousness in front of me while fighting her and took her away. I thought some consciousness I hadn't known before had emerged in the wonderfully mysterious fortress. But no, I merely didn't hear it before. Her has never once left your side. Not even once. The heart I gained enlightenment on from seeing the vision of the Cheongman Ryong. The heart of a master remains in the heart of their disciple, even after the master's death. The heart of one who repentantly enlightens upon themselves while living. The heart that learns from one another. Never disappears and stays within themselves. If that is the case, then the Mad Lord's her as well. Her heart must have remained within the Mad Lord, spanning over 2,000 years. The canvas of myriad forms and connections, through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, conveys the heart I gained enlightenment onto the Mad Lord's consciousness. The Mad Lord's gaze trembles violently as he receives my heart. Then, tears flow from his eyes. Finally understanding the feelings of Kim Young-hoon of that time, who once told me to swing, I shout. Unfold it. It's already within you. The Mad Lord wipes his tears. He can feel it. Through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, his disciple is connecting Seo Eun-yun to him. Through Seo Eun-yun's consciousness, his heart is fully conveyed to the Mad Lord. Receiving a fragment of Seo Eun-yun's enlightenment, the Mad Lord rises and forms a hand seal. It would have been nice if someone had told me a bit earlier. A smile filled with indescribable emotions appears on the lips of the Mad Lord, Jo Yeon. Did you call this entering heavens beyond the path? The realm Wal Haan yearned for 2,000 years ago. Having received Seo Eun-yun's enlightenment, the Mad Lord can finally set foot into that realm. The wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, which he had believed to have reached great completion, now enters a new realm. The wonderfully mysterious fortress shines, and through Kim Yeon and Jo Yeon, Yeon's play begins to unfold. The fortress's body glows, and golden branches extend into the air. The Mad Lord's fortress becomes a golden, ancient tree, illuminating the world of Blood Yin. Then, the Mad Lord begins to dance. He looks at Kim Yeon's consciousness body, which conveyed Seo Eun-yun's heart to him. In the eyes of the Mad Lord, who has reached great completion in the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon, Kim Yeon's true heart is transparently reflected. Disciple, you too don't know your own heart yet. In that case, even though it is embarrassing to even call myself your master. Still, as the one who carries that title, I will impart my final teaching through this dance. I will teach my disciple and depart. This last teaching to my disciple will be sufficient repayment for your grace. So, don't just rush ahead, but look back at my disciple who follows you as well. Seo Eun-yun. The heart of Yeon ran as thus, natural or to be expected. The heart of Yeon Yuan fate. And the heart of Yeon Lien yearning. Entering heavens beyond the path. All combined, it becomes the heart of love. Heart of love Lien Shin. The wonderfully mysterious past summoned by the monster husband unravels in the present. And the threads of the Mad Lord's consciousness begin to be dyed a light pink, scattering across the four directions in heaven and earth. From the tips of the golden branches of the wonderfully mysterious fortress, the light pink threads flow down, blossoming the Mad Lord's heart beneath the blood-red sky. Author's note. Illustration has been added. Thank you artist Phalos. Translator note. I can't seem to upload here but the artwork is in the Discord. Chapter 455. Full Blossom Mankai. The light pink threads dance beneath the red sky. Clack, 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 clack. The puppets of the wonderfully mysterious fortress begin to move. The artificial souls of the puppets perfectly recreate the moment from 2,000 years ago, and the attraction force starts to distort space-time. Kriak. Jo Yeon returns to that moment. Wo Wang. The Mad Lord and her. Together with Wal Ha'an, they return to the evening of that day. The Mad Lord Zhou Yian and Wal Ha'an begin to dance, one holding a fan, the other a short spear. Watching them, I suddenly realize something that sends chills down my spine and open my mouth. Single quote. I see. Zhou Yian will likely realize it soon as well. Tsa. While Zhou Yian is dancing, threads of his consciousness flow down from the branches of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Each light pink thread of consciousness connects to each of our consciousness. The moment those threads make contact, I feel all the negative thoughts within my mind completely dissolve. TSSSSSAAAAAH. The conditions of the comrades who had lost consciousness due to the amplification of the heart heavenly demon and negative forces begin to improve as soon as the Mad Lord's consciousness threads reach them. The heart heavenly demons inside them dissolve instantly. The Mad Lord's entering heavens, heart of love, spreads far and wide. From the golden quince tree, thousands of light pink threads spread out, covering heavenly lotus mountain. Koo-goo-goo-goo-goo. Heavenly Lotus Mountain begins to tremble, and from somewhere, a strange sound spreads, echoing through the heaven and earth and the four directions. A sound like something is screaming. And then, as I operate the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, I come to understand Zhou Yian's enlightenment. I see, this is the realm of great completion in the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. The wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon is essentially a method of turning the consciousness domain of cultivators, that are in the form of spheres, into threads, which are like those of mortals. By alternating the consciousness domain between the form of threads and sphere, it is possible to freely transform the domain's shape, manipulate puppets, and create artificial consciousness through the circuits of magic artifacts, which is the core of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. Moreover, since it shares the same thread-like consciousness form as mortals, it can change the color of emotion and infiltrate the other's consciousness, making it seem like the emotion is theirs while being able to exchange heart language. Through the fully mastered wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, I realize what its true potential is. The power to connect people. That is the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon. Through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, the light pink threads begin to connect us. Between me and the Mad Lord. Between the Mad Lord and Kim Young-hoon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yeon, Shi-ho, and Azure Tiger Saint, and others, their hearts begin to link together. And as I connect with the Mad Lord's heart, I begin to understand the power of his entering heavens, heart of love. The power to manifest the phenomena within intent. A person's intent, on its own, is merely the color of emotion, but when it descends to the plane of chi, it can manifest as a fascinating phenomena or power. Once, when Kim Young-hoon explained his enlightenment regarding 5 energies converging to the origin, he demonstrated how the intent of anger fused with energy could cause gang chi to surge, and how the intent of love merged with energy could make gang chi to amplify. Of course, Kim Young-hoon didn't study the phenomena related to intent in depth, so he didn't gain a technique or entering heavens related to it. However, through the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, the Mad Lord who observed the emotions of people for 2,000 years gained an entering heavens tied to it. His entering heavens, heart of love, has the ability to summon the potential of the phenomena contained within intent. I know, everyone here who knows the Mad Lord sees the light pink sea rising in his heart. It is a heart of love solely for Ha'an. That heart of love begins to manifest as a phenomenon through the Mad Lord's heart of love. Koo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo. Infinite, the most vast and powerful intent begins to unleash an unstoppable force. Yuring, Yururung. Within Yian's play where Zhou Yian is dancing, thunder and lightning roar from within. Yian's play is unfolding in a perfect form that has never been seen before. Outside, Kim Yian controls the flow. While inside, Zhou Yian draws out the power. I can see the pressure of that space undulating, driving out the negative authority of blood yin. Wung, wo wung. Suddenly, I feel a will resounding from beyond the sky. Not a chance. Kururung, Kahayak. I cough up blood. Just hearing that voice strikes my soul and body with an impact as powerful as a heavenly tribulation. It is already over. Unless vast cold returns alive, the bright cold realm is mine. The heart heavenly demons sing. Darkness flows like a river, and throughout the world, negative forces gather, giving birth to monsters. Then, Zhou Yian's heart of love touches Kim Yian's consciousness body. Pot. At the same time, Kim Yian's consciousness body, which had been pure white until now, begins to be dyed. No, to be exact, it is being drawn out by Zhou Yian. It seems as though the colors inside are being pulled to the surface. Do 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 do. Ah, watching this scene, I smile. For some reason, an overwhelming sense of relief settles within me. I recognize this sight. From Kim Yeon's consciousness body, which has produced an entirely light pink consciousness body, it seems as if light pink flames are blazing. What I saw at the end of the 15th cycle, Kim Yeon's incarnation that appeared through Gyu Baek's vast cold oath, has now revealed itself through becoming one with the heart of love. Surururururu. Yeon's play is fully activated through that infinite power, and the light from the wonderfully mysterious fortress that had temporarily driven back the wicked power of Blood Yin begins to fade. Jo Yeon's life force is being drained. To summon the past, an incredibly overwhelming power is needed, more than the infinite power manifested through his heart of love. Not only his heart of love, but he is squeezing every last bit of his life force to summon the scene of his past. I briefly look at the scene of the Mad Lord's past floating above the wonderfully mysterious fortress and ask Seo Weo. Is that all, Seo Weo? Didn't you say that when the Mad Lord activates Yeon's play, things would get better? I ask Seo Weo, and Seo Weo responds through tainted soul filling the heavens. It seems he doesn't want to speak to me directly under the sky of Blood Yin. This is my first time seeing the Mad Lord's immortal art, so I am not sure, but I do know one thing. Through that, he has already directly summoned the power of vast Vold. However, the scene the Mad Lord has summoned is now acting as a barrier, trapping that power. In short, when the Mad Lord breathes his last and that scene fades, the power of vast Vold will naturally rise. Seo Weo warns me, and, if I've noticed this much, Blood Yin surely noticed as well. The erosion of the bright cold realm by Blood Yin is about 8/10 complete. They will begin attacking the wonderfully mysterious fortress soon, so prepare yourself. Understood. Goo. I can feel the entire world rejecting us. Ominous forces are pushing us away. From the west, a storm surges. From the north, a tidal wave crashes. From the east, heavenly tribulation pours down. From the south, lava erupts, all surging toward us. Cooing, heaven and earth are reversing. A technique like the one Baek Woon once displayed reverses heaven and earth, trying to send the wonderfully mysterious fortress crashing down to the sky. 80% of the realm has been taken, and they are already displaying authority at the level of a sacred master. I glance back. The Mad Lord's life force is scattering, and his past is becoming faint. The threads of the heart of love that Jo Yeon created are gradually fading. As the power of love emitted by Jo Yeon's heart of love fades, the negative and wicked forces once again flood into the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Chiok, I begin forming hand seals. Until now, aside from when I fought Yuan Li, I rarely used curses with hand seals or invocations. The curses are already deeply embedded in my soul, and I became a curse sorcerer at the level where just thinking about it can curse my opponent. Even when I intend to use curses, battles usually end before I can fully unleash the power of my curses, so there has rarely been a need to use the curses, full strength. But today, I must draw out every potential of my curses, born from all my pain and anguish. Chiok. A vicious curse blooms, and a veil of writhing eyes forms around the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The eyeballs occasionally form faces, trying to escape the veil, but they fail. Extinguishing Realm Ghost Curse. Reverse. The curse monsters, which have already become akin to the heart heavenly demons of Blood Yin, all begin to reverse simultaneously. The Mad Lord's heart connected to all of us. The hearts of people connected to each other, and we became one. Therefore, even though this may be the life of one who has suffered, at this moment, it is a blessing. Pot. A brilliant, pure white light bursts forth from 10 million flower buds, driving away the wicked forces. It's not over yet. I begin to use Foolish Old Man Moves Mountains. 1. I infuse each move of Foolish Old Man Moves Mountains with blessings, with the power of vanquishing evil and upholding righteousness, and resist this negative and wicked world of Blood Yin. Cooing. I feel my sword strike collide against the very principles of Blood Yin. The technique that grows infinitely stronger by absorbing the opponent's power. The flowers of blessings grow endlessly stronger alongside Foolish Old Man Moves Mountains, and the light becomes brighter and brighter. As I perform the sword dance, I glance back slightly. The Mad Lord's life force is fading, and Kim Yeon is walking up to the highest floor of the wonderfully mysterious fortress where the Mad Lord is meeting his end with her main body. I can't witness his final moments. So, the Mad Lord's last moments, I leave them to you. Kim Yeon. Wing. Yeon's play ends. The Mad Lord Jo Yeon looks at Ha-eun in front of him. Han is smiling with a blush. It is not the stiff body of a puppet. The one who had been with him 2,000 years ago, it is definitely her body. The Mad Lord Zhou Yian smiles as he looks at the blurring scenery around him. Even if it's just once, I wanted to return to this moment. SSSS's. The scene of the memories he longed for gradually fades, and Zhou Yian returns to reality. He feels the cold wind. He feels the sky shining. This is not the Soak village where he first became lovers with her, it's just the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The warm Heian is gone, leaving only the stiff her behind. The Mad Lord looks at her for a moment, then turns his gaze to Kim Yian, who has reached the highest floor of the fortress. Have you come? Yes. Between us, there's quite a lot to talk about. Zhou Yian looks at Kim Yian with a gaze that says, I'm sorry, and smiles. I've done many unforgivable things to you. Even after that, I pretended to be your master and entrusted you with my long-cherished wish. I truly owe you a great debt. Kim Yian tries to say something but bites her lip instead. Then, she remains silent. It seems she intends to listen to him until the end. I won't ask for your forgiveness. You can resent me as much as you want, and for kidnapping you and modifying you at will. I have no excuses, even if I had 10 mouths. But, even as a lacking master, I am still your master. He points to a certain place within the fading scenery of Yian's play. As your master, this may be the first and last proper gift and teaching I give you. In the direction Zhou Yian points, a single flower is blooming in the air. It is a quince flower. It is both a chi flower created by Wal Haun's paired winged spear inside Yian's play, and at the same time, it is the goal Zhou Yian clung to for 2,000 years, even as he was tormented by madness. It is Zhou Yian's hope. Take it. Kim Yian walks towards the quince flower at the center of the fading Yian's play. As she passes Zhou Yian, she speaks. I hated you. Is that so? I still hold some resentment towards you. You kidnapped me at will, engraved the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon into my mind at will, and even etched stuff like circuits into my body at will. But, Kim Yian closes her eyes. She, too, along with Xiao Unyun, Xiao Weiol, and Oh Hai Xiao, saw Zhou Yian's past. At the end of Zhou Yian's past was, in the end, the answer Kim Yian had been searching for. The first and last Yian's play that Zhou Yian showed her. And his heart of love was undoubtedly the very answer she had been seeking. Therefore, even if I resent you, I will respect you. Even if I dislike you, I will revere you, and I will remember you. After finishing her words, Kim Yian walks past Zhou Yian and steps into the center of Yian's play. Zhou Yian collapses on the spot. Where he sits, Yian's play has completely dissipated and has fully returned to the wonderfully mysterious fortress. The puppet musicians who had been playing instruments stopped all at once. As their master's life fades, the entire wonderfully mysterious fortress comes to a halt. Clank. Using the last of his strength, Zhou Yian manipulates the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon to make her sit across from him. With trembling hands, Zhou Yian takes out a storage scroll from his chest. Xiao Unyun had previously told him that Haun's heart also resides within Zhou Yian's heart. Through the act of giving one's heart to another, I have come to be who I am now. What a remarkable enlightenment. To become who he is now, countless people have given their hearts to Zhou Yian. And among them, undoubtedly, Haun's heart must also be there. Therefore, it was said that Haun resides within Zhou Yian. In truth, we were already together. It seems so simple, yet it's something no one had ever told the Mad Lord for 2,000 years. To think my heart was put at ease so easily, what have I been doing for the past 2,000 years? As he closes his eyes, Zhou Yian takes something out from the storage scroll. If there is indeed a place called hell, I will surely fall to its deepest, most scorching, and most agonizing depths. Zhou Yian himself knows. He is a devilish villain who spent thousands of years capturing and forcibly modifying countless living beings into puppets. An insane madman. His sins are unforgivable. Therefore, hell is a certainty, and he already accepted that. What Zhou Yian takes out is white red wine in 2 cups. I said, before. With great difficulty, he moves his body, from which life force is gradually draining, and barely manages to speak. He is dying now. He will likely be dragged to the deepest pit of hell, but he has accepted that. Dying is fine. The only regret is, next time, together, let's hold a proper ceremony. Chururuk. Zhou Yian places 1 cup in front of him. And 1 in front of her. He pours the white red wine. After setting down the bottle, Zhou Yian lifts the white red wine placed in front. of her and drinks it. This is how the upper realm cultivators conduct their wedding ceremony. What he regrets is that he couldn't hold a real ceremony with Han. That is the only thing. After drinking the white red wine placed before her, Zhou Yian realizes that he has not even the life force left to lift a finger. In his gradually blurring vision, he gazes at her face. She cannot move either, her power source having been completely burned from unfolding Yian's play. It was a life full of sins. I expect to fall to the deepest pit of hell. However, I swear before the divine spirits of heaven and earth. With the last of his strength, he takes one final look at her. That in meeting you, in loving you, I have not a single regret. Creak, and then, creak, creak, her hand starts to move. Though there should be no power source, she, who is nothing more than a puppet, is moving. Torn apart by the attacks of the heart heavenly demons, the puppet, which is practically in shambles, begins to move forcibly. Zhou Yian's mouth opens. Tears flow from his eyes. Creak, 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 creak. The pulleys and gears inside her are turning. And somehow, though it's unclear from where the power is even coming from, the puppet finally grasps for the white red wine that Zhou Yian had poured. Creak. Ah, all this time, you were truly. Zhou Yian cries. You were truly there. She, who has always been controlled by someone's will, moves without any input from either Kim Yian or Zhou Yian. In that way, she lifts the cup to her lips and pours the drink into her mouth. With that as the finale, the two puppets that performed the greatest play under the sun and moon finally come to a stop. The pattern that emerged on one side of the Mad Lord's face glows light pink and falls away from his face, scattering into flower petals. Kim Yian bites her lip. Her chest aches. Zhou Yian's final emotions were vividly transmitted to her, who was connected to him. TSTSTSTSTSTSTSTs. She accepts the quince flower into her chest. And at last, she finds the answer regarding the heart she has been searching for. Love is joy, love is hate, love is sorrow, pleasure, and desire. Love is not everything, rather, everything is love. The gladness Zhou Yian felt at the end. His longing, his relief, his sense of liberation, his possessiveness, his obsession, all of it was love. What is immortal cultivation? Someone once asked me that. As Kim Yian feels Zhou Yian's heart, she realizes that she has suddenly arrived at a place she has never seen before. It's a peach blossom spring. A beautiful place where light pink peach blossoms are in full bloom across heaven and earth. There, hidden by a large peach blossom tree, someone speaks. Immortal cultivation is repentant enlightenment. They told me it is reflecting and cultivating oneself. I agree with that to some extent, but my answer was a little different. Looking at the being, Kim Yian feels an indescribable sense of overwhelming emotions and beauty, along with awe and reverence. Immortal cultivation is progress. It's about being better today than you were yesterday. We are all always moving forward in some direction. Sometimes toward admiration, sometimes toward gratitude, sometimes toward affection, sometimes toward obsession, and sometimes toward sympathy. Kim Yian flinches. The order of emotions recited by that being corresponds exactly to the sequence of feelings Kim Yian felt toward Xiao Unyun. It is neither the form nor the essence that changes. You struggle a little more than yesterday, contemplate a little more than yesterday, and continuously progress, gradually seeking a more and more complete form. Ultimately, isn't that what immortal cultivation is? So, don't blame yourself. She sheds a tear, as if her heart has been seen through. Even though her hidden feelings have been exposed, rather than feeling embarrassed, she feels a sense of liberation. You have simply been moving forward all this time. If you have come here with a clear heart, not bound by delusion, doesn't that mean you have undoubtedly grown more than before? Just as the heaven, earth, and heart is one, but its expression varies, your heart has, in fact, never changed. It's just that, the way it was expressed is different. At those words, Kim Yian finally breaks down in tears. She thought she didn't want to lose people. That's why she sought to understand love. That is why she has always looked at Xiao Unyun. But she wondered, could this feeling, in fact, not be love? Could she have not gained anything at all? Is she, in fact, someone no different from Oh Hai Xiao? That is how she had thought. But it wasn't true. Though the manner of expression may have changed slightly, it has always existed unchangingly. The being behind the peach blossom tree smiles and speaks. Never forget today. I am the seat holder of Ent Zhang Ming Zuo Zhu Tridakna Vast Cold Heavenly King Che Ku Guang Han Tien Wang. TLN. And here is the same end in Enders, as in the character's end fate Zhang Ming. It was confirmed by the author to be related to acceptance at fate's end. Suddenly, Kim Yi-eun feels an incredibly warm sensation like sunlight, as if that figure absolutely supports her. My soul may be filled square, filled square, filled square, filled square, filled square, but my flesh will always support you. Kim Yi-eun feels as though a giant hand is gently pushing her away. Yet, she doesn't feel rejected. Instead, only a cozy feeling seems to envelop her. Be cautious of what true immortals give you. They cannot gift you anything but misfortune. With those parting words, Kim Yi-eun realizes she has returned to the top floor of the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Quince flower. She smiles as she gazes at the light pink petals fluttering around her. Come to think of it, that flower truly has many ties to her. Wasn't it on that day, in front of the tree with falling quince flowers, that she truly started liking Seo Eun-yeon? Surik. Kim Yi-eun takes her stance. It resembles the paired wings spear of Wal Ha-eun, the fan dance of Jo Yeon, and also the paired wings dance taught by Seo Eun-yeon. Kim Yi-eun's feet begin to move. She begins to dance, performing a series of connected movements. The internal energy method taught by Seo Eun-yeon, the intertwined branches heart method, begins to whirl fiercely within her body. As her movements flow seamlessly from one to the next, she draws a circle. At the end of that circle, the energy subtly amplifies. In theory, this martial art was designed to draw forth infinite power. Of course, Seo Eun-yeon had judged that for that theory to be realized, Kim Yi-eun would need to perform the paired wings dance several billions of times over. However, Kim Yi-eun found another method in her own way. Pot. From Kim Yi-eun's body, thousands, tens of thousands, and even hundreds of millions of threads begin to burst forth. These threads connect to the hundreds of millions, trillions of puppets remaining in the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Then, the puppets rise all at once, driven by Kim Yi-eun's will. Pot. The puppets begin to move. The puppets mirror Kim Yi-eun's every action. It is as if they are all dancing together. Inside the wonderfully mysterious fortress, trillions of puppets begin to perform the dance of paired wings in unison. All repeating the same movements, they connect. The circle is drawn. The circle within the trillions of puppets resonates with Kim Yi-eun, linking to the circle inside her body. This resonance grows larger and larger, until at last, the light pink energy of the entire wonderfully mysterious fortress converges towards Kim Yi-eun. Finally, Kim Yi-eun stops the paired wings dance and controls the immense rotation within her body with the vast cold heavenly circle, stretching her hand towards the sky. I like you. Like. And she will not name it anything else. She will no longer pity Seo Eun-yeon, no longer feel gratitude, and no longer love him. Because love, by nature, has no name. Isn't there a saying, enlightenment cannot be established in words bu li wei and zi. Just as enlightenment cannot be conveyed through language, love too cannot be described in words. Therefore, she will no longer say that she loves Seo Eun-yeon. She will simply, in the clearest and simplest expression, like him. Kim Yi-eun, realizing that love cannot be named and why her affection had been colorless, unleashes the power of vast cold raging within her into the sky. Entering heavens beyond the path. Pot. Yi-eun's play is reactivated. In place of the quince flowers that couldn't bloom during winter, and instead of Jo Yeon's light pink heart tied to the old tree. The quince flowers of the quince tree, now reawakened by spring, begin to bloom profusely over the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Full blossom man kai wa. Accepting Jo Yeon's heart and unfolding through the power of vast cold, Kim Yi-eun finally acknowledges her own heart and smiles silently. Author's note. The flower language of quince flowers is ordinariness and passion. At the same time, it also means precocity, early maturity, Zhao Shu. The reason why Jo Yeon's surname is Jo, Zhao early, was set up that way for today. In the context of the story, it represents the maturity of Jo Yeon, Zhao Yuan early fate or love, and can also be seen as a wordplay on the maturity of immature love. Outside of the story, it could simply mean, from now on, the supporting characters will mature, or it could just be me attaching the quince flowers meaning of precocity to the story. TLN. Joyeon means supporting character. Both Seo Eun-yeon and Kim Yi-eun are symbolized by the quince flower. Seo Eun-yeon represents ordinariness and passion, while Kim Yi-eun symbolizes precociousness. Although they share the same flower, they carry different symbolic meanings, making this episode for both of them, as well as for Jo Yeon. Finally, the Jo Yeon episode is coming to an end. After this episode, I will be transitioning from 7 updates a week to 6. Thank you all so much for loving Regressors' tale of cultivation thus far, and I, as well, always love my readers. I love you all, dear readers. 456. Pasasasasa. With the death of the Mad Lord, the patterns that emerged on his face grow pale pink and scatter like flower petals. And in the darkness where no light reaches, someone is watching the scene, their body trembling. Finally, as they began to tremble, a bright smile spread across their face. Finally, the Liberation Law talent Jia Fang Fa Kai has been born. The key is now in my hands. That being, filled with ecstasy, gazes beyond the distant sky. Staring into the dark and empty sky beyond, they clench their hand. Now, it's soon. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. The fully bloomed pink quince flowers rise above the wonderfully mysterious tree. I can feel it. Ting, tingle. Even I, who has reached the second step before the throne, void shattering, can feel my breath stop at this infinite power. This is do-do-do-do-do-do. The ground begins to tremble, and beneath the crimson coral-covered land of the bright cold realm, light pink flower dust starts to seep out. The scent of peach blossoms is carried by the wind from somewhere, tickling my nose. The power of vast cold. Flash. The entire world fills with pale pink light, driving away the crimson sky. Vast cold. The desperate voice, whether it's longing, despair, or anger, echoes beneath the sky. It's when Kim Yin starts to unleash her power. Wing. 7 orbs of light rise around the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Those are the Mad Lord's masterpiece, the items she needed in order to rise to the star-shattering stage. Artificial stars. Originally, even if all the power sources of the wonderfully mysterious fortress were poured in, the half-complete artificial stars could only operate for 5 seconds. But now, beneath the quince flowers, it feels like the artificial star's power is fully recharging. No, even the 7 artificial stars cannot fully handle that power and are becoming overcharged. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. At the same time, the wonderfully mysterious fortress at the center of the artificial stars. No, Kim Yin begins to display the true power of a cultivator at the star-shattering stage. Pa-ba-ba-bang. Absorbing the power of blood yin, Yu Qian, who had displayed immense strength at the late star-shattering stage, is flung far away. The wonderfully mysterious fortress, having absorbed the power of the 7 stars, begins firing its main cannons. Pa-bang. Quote. Exclamation mark quote. With that one blast, the tidal wave in the north evaporates on the spot. The main cannons continue to fire. The fiery heat in the south, the lightning tribulation in the east, the storms in the west, all vanish simultaneously, and the world, overturned by the pink brilliance, is restored to its original state. Key. The materialized heart heavenly demons charge forwards all at once. Since they don't attack in one massive clump like natural disasters, the main cannons cannot take them all out together. However, Kim Yin extends her palm. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. It's overwhelming. No. Perhaps it should be called tyrannical. A colossal force begins to gather in her hand. Her stance itself isn't particularly sharp or precise by my standards. However, as the power coalesces in front of Kim Yin, a quince flower starts to bloom. Flash. The dragon wave of the dragon race. No, perhaps it's more akin to the main cannon of the Nether Crossing ship or the wonderfully mysterious fortress. A similar beam erupts with her palm strike, instantly shattering and killing the heart heavenly demons in a single blow. But that strike isn't the end. She continues dancing, sweeping away the heart heavenly demons without pause. Kim Yin's feet move. With each step, her dance flows seamlessly, her twin palms endlessly. Blooming quince flowers and unleashing beams in all directions. Chi. I inhale deeply, feeling the smoke rising from my entire body. The recoil of foolish old man moves mountains technique is settling inside me. In the past, just using foolish old man moves mountains would have guaranteed my death, but ever since I reached the integration stage, where my body has become a world itself, it only produces some smoke. Though if I really pushed it endlessly, I suppose I'd die eventually. I calm my breathing and look toward Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Ever since Kim Yin manifested the fully bloomed flower, an enormous murderous energy has been surging from deep within Heavenly Lotus Mountain. Is that the wedge blood yin planted in this world? That's right. Blood yin drove a wedge into the depths of Heavenly Lotus Mountain and has been eroding the bright cold realm. Twitch, twitch. Sia Weiol appears beside me, smiling faintly as he explains. The moment the power of vast cold manifested, the red sky began to turn back to blue, and the blood yin realm was reverting to the bright cold realm. The original plan was to combine Taoist Seo's strength with the power of vast cold the Mad Lord had nurtured and strike the wedge within Heavenly Lotus Mountain, but Sia Weiol lets out a small laugh. I never expected that mist to amplify the power of vast cold. Thanks to that, it seems Blood Yin has taken an unimaginable shock. If Taoist Xiao purifies the wedge in this state, Blood Yin will undoubtedly suffer a fatal blow. Perhaps because Blood Yin's sky has retreated, Xiao Wei'ol kindly explains in his actual voice the current situation and what I need to do. Go now, Taoist Xiao. Pierce a hole through Heavenly Lotus Mountain, drain the power of the wedge, and then have the mist strike it with a single strike infused with the power of vast cold. That will completely collapse Blood Yin. All right, Chiok. Xiao Wei'ol places a hand on my shoulder and smiles. I will place tainted soul filling the heavens. I know what you're thinking, but this time, it's really not like that. Without me, Taoist Xiao won't be able to face Blood Yin's will head on. Quote. Because of our contract, I can't pull any tricks. Besides, if you're suspicious, you can easily dispel it with the power of the Har tribe. No. I didn't say anything, though I feel uneasy. I reluctantly nod. Xiao Wei'ol smiles faintly, placing his hand on my shoulder, and something sticky and dark starts to seep into my soul. I feel his sticky personality layering itself over my soul, as if a wrapper labeled Xiao Wei'ol has been placed over my soul. I take my stance and rush from the wonderfully mysterious fortress toward the center of Heavenly Lotus Mountain, where a terrifying killing intent surges. Kwang, my charge creates a hole straight through Heavenly Lotus Mountain. I head toward the core of Heavenly Lotus Mountain, brandishing my sword intent to cut through the path ahead, and finally, I manage to enter a large cavern. Kururum. This place. I narrow my eyes. What probably once was an ordinary cavern is now filled with sticky blood and something resembling brain matter, and the walls of the cavern have transformed into flesh, as though they belong to some creature. At the center of the cavern, there, thousands of red auras writhe like tentacles, coiling around something in the shape of a sphere. From the center of the red sphere, a pitch-black dot emerges, glaring at me. Zing. An overwhelming gaze. As soon as I face that gaze, I receive a mental shock so intense that my mind begins to melt, and my body trembles. Goo. Is this the vision of a star? Shattering stage. With the vision of void shattering, I read the malicious intent that blankets the entire plane of soul. An overwhelming malice and filth. A conglomeration of filth, obsession, and stickiness. The moment I lock eyes with it, I feel thousands of devilish arts and understandings of the devilish path etching themselves into my mind, gnawing away at my consciousness. And then, I realize that even this is only barely possible because Xiao Wei'ol's tainted soul filling the heavens is protecting my mind. From the star-shattering stage and beyond, the higher one's realm, the harder it is to gaze directly upon a higher being. It seems that as one's vision of the world broadens, sharpens, and becomes grander, so too does one's ability to comprehend, as well as the pain that comes with it. It's like how a person with sharp senses feels pain more acutely. Zing. I feel a will transmitting itself from the orb of tentacles that looks like an eyeball before me. Pray to me, worship me, you shall uphold my will, immediately turn around and kill the bug spewing the power of the vast cold. If you do so, you may become an esteemed one under my command. Zing. An overwhelming will presses down, trying to twist my own. I can sense it. If I lose focus even for a moment, my consciousness will be swallowed by that will, turning me into a puppet in an instant. I realize that if it weren't for Xiao Wei'ol's tainted soul filling the heavens acting as the minimum protective barrier, the existence known as me would have been devoured by Blood Yin before I could even steal my will. I stand before Blood Yin and speak. Quote. This little one has always held deep respect for the chief judge of the netherworld, Nether Devil True Lord Yu Hao Te. Splash. A fountain of blood spurts from my entire body, but I pay it no mind and continue speaking. I can feel that Blood Yin's eye no longer tries to control me and instead listens to my words. He was noble, he possessed a character that commanded the utmost respect from all. I find it truly regrettable that he met with misfortune while going to help his friend, in loyalty befitting his authority. No intent can be read from the eye before me. However, I can tell from the way this space no longer rejects me and quietly listens to my words that it is quite pleased. As a mere mortal who admires that noble figure, I beseech thee. Does not the will of the Great One remain immortal within thee? Is not the bright cold realm once the body of your friend? I beg thee, O Great One, in respect for the honor of your friend, to withdraw. If you act in remembrance of that honor, all the gods of the 3,000 great thousand worlds will once again see the loyalty of the chief judge of the netherworld. The entire space trembles at my words. The eye, composed of tentacles, gazes at me with what seems like a satisfied look, transmitting its will. One who knows propriety, I see that you have the eyes to recognize the truly great. But there is something you misunderstand. The reason I seek to enter the body of vast cold is that only I, their friend, can rightfully claim it. Its words continue. After vast cold's soul departed, they have been continuously desecrated for hundreds of thousands of years. Their name was altered to include the word, light, and Baek Woon, a devotee of the light, has erased, controlled, and suppressed every trace of vast cold within their body. My goal is solely to raise vast cold's body again and challenge Baek Woon and the loathsome light that has desecrated the vast cold's honor for hundreds of thousands of years. I speak with a bitter smile. I humbly dare to proclaim. If you are truly the noble chief judge, would it not be proper for you to cleanse your friend's honor by growing your own strength, rather than raising their corpse to do so? As the one who judges the rights and wrongs of the deceased, should you not properly assess whether raising your friend's corpse is truly right? At my words, the gaze in the sphere changes. Are you trying to test my qualifications? I am Yu Hao Te. No matter what anyone says, I am the greatest true lord and the greatest chief judge, favored by the oldest one. I do not need validation from a bug like you, for I am Yu Hao Te. It seems my words have pricked their pride, as their eye flares with light. Explode and die, you wretched bug. Coo goo 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 goo. An overwhelming pressure crushes down on me. Barely resisting, I laugh. I understand. Then I will no longer address you as chief judge, but as blood yin. How dare you? At that moment, Kwururung, Jaeon Myong-hoon appears beside me. It seems he has regained his senses now that the blood yin realm's influence has disappeared, and the heart heavenly demons have left from his mind. Drip, drip, he is crying. Is there anything I can do? It seems he heard everything through Seo Weol's tainted soul filling the heavens, fully grasping the situation. That bastard showed me that time, over and over again. It appears Blood Yin's heart heavenly demon had been replaying the day of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect's destruction in Jaeon Myong-hoon's mind. I grin and speak. When I strike, immediately trigger heavenly tribulation. What? Kim Yeon. I call out loudly to Kim Yeon, and an overwhelming power surges toward me from behind. Kim Yeon activates Yeon's play. As the canvas of myriad forms and connections resonates with Yeon's play, figures from my past are summoned to this place. Grinning, I point to the center of the sphere of red auras. Isn't the one inside Sacred Master Baek Woon? I can feel it. Baek Woon is inside, along with the remnants of Yong-Soo Jin embedded in her. After capturing Sacred Master Baek Woon and placing her under their control, Blood Yin probably began to erode the bright cold realm through her. In other words, if I strike Sacred Master Baek Woon, I can summon Yong-Soo Jin's power inside her and drain Blood Yin's strength. After weakening Blood Yin, Kim Yeon can deliver the final blow, ending everything. Before Blood Yin can react, I take my stance and shout. I shall save you, Sacred Master. I will summon heavenly tribulation and stimulate Yong-Soo Jin's lightning spear. I recall the countless Heart Tribe members of met and seen within the Heart Tribe territory. The 10,000 third stage Heart Tribe members. And Jang Ike's 22 disciples. River Bend, Sudden Wind, Sudden Rain, Bu Shi Feng Yu. Flash, the sword strike of Gyung Chong, who died while seeking the next realm, erupts from my blade. The same method I used against Seo Weol in the 15th cycle bursts forth from my hand. But this time, it's different. Now, within my heart, resides the 10,000 Heart Tribe members and 22 disciples. You want to reclaim Vast Cold's body to restore your realm and position. This is a world where even recovering your realm brings down heavenly tribulation. Go ahead, keep lusting after Vast Cold. I will bring down a heavenly tribulation you cannot possibly bear. With all of Cedar Wood Grove on my back, I begin my sword dance. 457. Young Chang's Sudden Wind, Sudden Rain. Yu Yeon's Calm Winds, Resting Waves. Rio Wa's Endless Cold Window. I move my hands swiftly. I can see it. In the far distance, weapons are scattered everywhere. Their owners are not here, however. As I approach and grip the weapons, I feel as if I can understand what kind of lives their owners lived. Yu Wa's illusory play under the rosy afterglow. Baek Yong's mountain-repelling whip. Kim Young-hoon's surpassing radiant saber. Flash, flash. As the radiance swirls, the weapons in my hand continuously strike at the massive being before me. Cut, crush, pierce, strike, break, push, deflect. All of this is martial arts woo. It is the method for approaching death. What I face is neither an individual nor a group, but a principled Li Ji itself. Opening the middle realm and wielding authority from the domain of an immortal seat. It is blood yin. The manifestations of more than 10,000 heart tribe members explode from my hand. Pete, I raise the all heavens sword from the plane of soul, cutting towards above. To a world filled with light. Towards the main body of blood yin that resides in that world. Quarararara. Blood yin doesn't stay still. Kudik, kududuk. Coral sprouts from my body. I declare my judgment. Kururum. While I'm unleashing heavenly tribulation, I hear blood yin's mantra echo in my mind. I see the karmic sins of uncountable living beings who were swept away into annihilation by an immense existence, all because of you. Crack. They immediately attack my weakness. This is your sin, and thus your responsibility to bear. I tightly shut my eyes. The responsibility I've always carried on my chest. If I die because of this, then that too will be my sin. As I brace myself for the coral to grow and drain me dry. Quote. ZZZT. The coral sprouting from my body shrinks and then burns away completely. What? I recall the authority of Hyeonium, who had fused with the left foot of esteemed one Sui Ryong during a previous battle. Back then, perhaps I didn't have enough severe sins for the coral to fully grow as it withered and died instead. But now, it isn't just withering. It's burning away completely. That's when it happens. Blood yin begins trembling. How could a living being have already received judgment? Who judged you in advance? Why do I feel the power of my karmic fire within you? Their eye quivers. Was it you I sensed as the target of karmic fire before? Then why is the karmic fire extinguished now? The only conditions for the karmic fire to extinguish out are either a judge absolves the sin and extinguishes it, or one's own conscience stabs deeper than the pain of the fire itself. Heaven and earth begin to tremble. It is impossible for the conscience and guilt of a mortal to exceed the agony of karmic fire. Then, which judge have you met beforehand? Does this mean, you appeared before me carrying the will of a judge of the underworld? Does the will of the underworld not wish for my reinstatement? Their eyes starts to shake. I am Yu Hao Te. I am none other than the chief judge Nether Devil True Lord. The accumulating virtue Dharma King and right hand of the oldest one. I was the pinnacle of the underworld. But why, my lord, why do you reveal such will to me? Blood yin begins to scream. Earthquakes and tsunamis start to occur throughout the bright cold realm, and blood and brain matter begin to gush out from beneath the ground. Blood yin is wailing. I see. They believe that my presence here, standing against them, is the will of the reapers of the underworld. It's certainly understandable to think so. Had I not heard the conditions for the karmic fire to be extinguished, from blood yin's own mouth, I too would have mistaken my fate as being manipulated by the reapers. Now, I understand. The reason the fire went out after meeting Great Mountain wasn't because Great Mountain extinguished it for me. It was because, right after my followers were massacred, the pain and guilt in my heart grew vast enough to surpass the pain of the karmic fire. From the moment a cultivator attains the consciousness domain, they sense more and think more than mortals. Because of that, they are superior to mortals, but at the same time, they feel emotions far more delicately than mortals do. When it comes to pleasure, this may be an advantage. But when it comes to pain, the pain is far greater than what mortals feel, to the point where a mortal's pain seems trivial. I laugh as I watch blood yin scream before me. Quirurururung. A green padao appears in my hand. In the past, if I didn't have the padao that Jang Ik personally embedded, it would have been impossible to manifest this destructive power. But now it's different. As long as Yin's play is activated, I can unleash Jang Ike's single strike at any time. Collapsing immortals. Kururururu. Jang Ike's fighting spirit, created solely to destroy the strong who oppress the weak. That will explodes from my hand. Annihilating heavens. Kururururung. With a sound akin to heavenly tribulation, the highest peak in the bright cold realm, Heavenly Lotus Mountain, is split in half. Chi, the red aura sphere splits in half, and from within, I see Baek Woon, tainted by blood devilish energy. Baek Woon's hands tremble as she clasps them together in a prayer pose. Please come. She's trying to summon something. Blood Yin's remaining will in the area rapidly begins to take over Baek Woon's body again. As if trying to stop her from completing the summoning. I murmur softly toward Baek Woon. This will hurt, but please bear with it for a moment. I have now unleashed everything. What's left is Jaeon Myung-hoon, Kururururung, to drain Blood Yin's power and drive him out completely. Red lightning flickers as Jaeon Myung-hoon's hand forms a lightning spear. Ha! Kwajijijijik. With a thunderous roar, Jaeon Myung-hoon's lightning spear pierces Baek-woon's stomach. At the same time, the 7 lightning spears of Yong-soo Jin hidden within her body begin to react. Descend, heavenly punishment. Simultaneously, heavenly tribulation begins to erupt from Yong-soo Jin's lightning spears. These heavenly tribulations are filled with countless colors. Not merely the 7-colored heavenly tribulation of Yong-soo Jin, but all of the more than 10,000 heavenly tribulations I had scattered begin surging forth. Baek-woon tries to pray but ends up screaming, though there's nothing that can be done right now. I can feel Blood Yin, who is connected to her, suffering as well. Heavenly tribulation bursts forth even in the plane of fate and strikes Blood Yin, delivering a proper blow. At the same time, I can see the power of Blood Yin, which had been entwined with Baek-woon's body, gradually fading. Blood Yin, who had been corroding Baek-woon's body, begins to be repelled. As more than 10,000 varieties of heavenly tribulation continuously descend, Blood Yin appears to be in excruciating pain, but they push back with even more strength, trying to endure. Once again, Baek-woon's body is enveloped by red aura-like tentacles. A dark red mist appears around her, wrapping her completely. Blood Yin is now directly using their authority, unleashing their power. However, the thunderstorm descending from the heavens shows no sign of stopping. I take a step back, watching the pillars of light falling from the sky. When I turn around, my comrades are there. There are Kim, Young-hoon and Oh Yun-sok, who have regained their senses, along with Seo Ran, Shiho and others. I notice Seo Wei-ol subtly trying to approach Seo Ran, so I strike him with the sub-heart sword, causing his clone to explode, and laugh. Now, let's finish this. 9 pairs of wings unfold from Oh Yun-sok's back. The massive form of a golden-winged pung appears behind Kim Young-hoon. TLN. Upgraded version of regular pung, referring to Da Pung Jinchi Mingwang Jin Kai Da Peng Diao. Jaeon Myung-hoon becomes a giant of lightning again, Seo Ran uses the ghost path method, and Shiho prepares an attack. And Kim Yeon, all the way in the far back, after bursting apart all the heart heavenly demons, readies her final move toward us. Pot. The colorless glass sword appears in my hand. I grasp the sword and aim for Blood Yin connected to Baek-woon inside the heavenly tribulation pillar before me. In the next moment, the full assault begins. Golden light, purple light, red light, a faint pink light, and the hazy light of accumulating dust forms a mountain surge all at once, shattering the heavenly tribulation pillar before my eyes. Then, the following light pink quince flower forces the being inside the heavenly tribulation pillar to be expelled from the bright cold realm. Kururururung. You. Blood Yin rages in anger, but in the end, there is nothing they can do now. As our offensive combines, the final wedge of Blood Yin is driven out from the bright cold realm. Pa-ba-ba-ba-bang. Baek-woon's limbs are torn apart, and the will of Blood Yin that had clung to her body is completely driven out. Whew, I smile as I turn around, standing atop the rubble of the collapsed heavenly lotus mountain. Quote. We did it. We succeeded in driving out Blood Yin. Kim Young-hoon flops down, lying down, and Jaeon Myung-hoon plops to the ground with a thud. Oh Yun-sok pants as he laughs, and Kim Yeon quietly smiles. At that moment, I see flower petals swirling in the air around Kim Yeon, appearing and then sinking into her face. TSTSTSTSTSTST. For an instant, a pattern, similar yet different from the one that had appeared on Jo Yeon's face, flashes on hers before disappearing. It was the pattern of a light pink bird flying freely in the sky. I don't know what it means, but we can figure it out slowly later. I, too, sit down on a nearby pile of rocks, trying to regulate my breathing. It's all over. Now, just as I think so. Cooing. A massive roar echoes from behind. No. It's not a roar. It's a vibration. The entire dimension trembles, and the souls of all of us standing in it resonate with the tremor. Along with the vibration, an overwhelming sense of dread invades my mind. Jaejaok. Then, the void starts to open. Chills. I feel goosebumps all over my body. A dreadful foreboding. A terrifying presence. This is Blood Yin's main body. Hyok. I understand what's happening right now. Blood Yin, who had been gradually trying to invade the bright cold realm, is now outright tearing the dimension apart and forcing their main body inside. I break out in a cold sweat, trying to resist the presence. Kuging. Kuhayak. But as I cough up blood, I realize I can't stop this. It feels like my body is going to burst apart. Will take at least. This is a true immortal, a truly great being who has risen to the plane of fate. You bastards alone, the great masters of fate. You who have shattered my grand plan into pieces, at least you. Due to the power of vast cold, blood yin cannot enter the bright cold realm. However, they can tear the realm apart and drag us out. I will definitely take you and make you suffer for eternity. Goo. A massive attraction force starts pulling us in. I connect with Kim Yian's play and unleash Zhang Ike's 4 treasures annihilating blade relentlessly. My comrades also begin their resistance. Kim Yian borrows the power of the bright cold realm and fires the wonderfully mysterious fortress. But we cannot stop Blood Yin's main body from pulling us from outside the dimension. And no, at this rate, we'll be taken by Blood Yin. We start getting gradually dragged into the Crimson World. Oh Yun-sok, in an attempt to stop his comrades from being dragged in, tries to put Hong Fan, Shi-ho, Seo Ran, and Azure Tiger Saint into his domain, but since he himself is being dragged in, it only worsens the situation. Just when I think everything is over. Quick. From under the debris of Heavenly Lotus Mountain, a white hand emerges. Beneath that hand, Baek Woon, with her left arm severed, raises her one remaining hand and shouts. A chilling drop in temperature sweeps through, giving off a majestic yet ominous feeling of a great presence overseeing this place. I've felt this presence before. Chief Judge has arrived. Please come. Radiant 8 Immortals. Guangming Ba Xian. Chills. A sense of danger sounds alarms in my mind. Even when I directly witnessed the projection of the Great Mountain, I had never felt this level of fear and terror. This is dangerous. The sky of the bright cold realm brightens, and Blood Yin's attraction force suddenly weakens. Blood Yin looks at me, screaming as if gripped by terror. I see, you fulfilled the conditions. You called for them, but I also feel my mind going blank, trembling in terror. I can sense it. When the sky of the bright cold realm fully brightens, the great beings will descend, and we might face an end worse than being taxidermized by the oldest one. Just as my mind turns completely white. Pot. Exclamation mark question mark quote. The salt crystal Norige shines pure white. That pure white light begins to protect us, resisting the golden light blazing in the bright cold realm. As I watch the scene, a conversation I once had comes to mind. The secret room where I spoke with the Queen of Penglai Kingdom. Inside that room, the salt that radiated light. The light brought by the owner of Salt Mountain. The pure white light responds to the light of the owner of light, and begins to exert a powerful attraction force. This is. The attraction force activates. At the same time, Yian's play and the Norige resonate, and something starts to happen. The plan I had conceived from the start to summon the domain of Salt Mountain into this place is being realized. It's activating now. Suddenly. Is it because it touched the light? It's when I feel bewildered. Something begins to be summoned to this place. It's a massive mountain. A pure white salt mountain has appeared here. I realize what this salt mountain is. Is that the entrance to the dream? We all start getting pulled into the salt mountain. I quickly realize why this is happening. Even though we managed to pull that world into this one using Yian's play, due to the lack of power, we are being dragged in instead. You dare insult this judge and try to escape into a dream. From far away, I hear Blood Yin's furious roar. At the same time, I feel a chill run down my entire body. With the authority of a true immortal, I prophesize this. Chills. Within 100 years, you shall all surely face me again. Cooing. The sky seems to rumble with a loud noise, and an enormous pressure briefly settles on our shoulders. Before disappearing, having reached the realm of void shattering, I can tell. Blood Yin has imposed upon us the fate that, within 100 years, we will inevitably meet them again. At some point, we will, one way or another, meet Blood Yin again due to the attraction force of fate. Having saved the bright cold realm, we are sucked into the dream of Salt Mountain amidst Blood Yin, Baek Woon, and the descent of light. Goo. In the distance, shadows rise, and the closed-eyed, Seo whales of tainted soul filling the heavens extend their hands toward us from the shadows. The bastard's intention is clear. Now that this situation has settled, it's time to immediately betray me. However, contrary to expectations, Seo Whale's shadow passes by me and desperately reaches out toward Oh Yun-sok, who brought Seo Ran into his domain. Shuckwick. But in the next moment, Seo Whale's tainted soul filling the heavens is once again severed by my sub-heart sword. Ho, I was just about to reunite with my beloved family, so why are you acting this way? Sorry, but Seo Ran isn't your family, he's my friend. Friend, ha, Ha ha, ah ha 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 ha. As I am sucked into the dream of Peng Lai, I fling Seo Whale away, and Seo Whale laughs madly as if he's heard something ridiculous. After sending my sub-heart sword toward Seo Whale one more time, I quickly fly with my comrades toward the world beyond. Everything has ended, and we, avoiding the light and blood yin, will go to meet those we long for. Ku gu 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 gu. The 8 beings of light casting over the bright cold realm look down at Baek Woon, who is praying below. Baek Woon kneels respectfully before the 8 lights, and the first light among them extends a hand towards her. At the gesture of that being, Baek Woon's cultivation as sacred master is instantly restored. The 8 lights, after briefly communicating their will to Baek Woon, extend their fingers toward Blood Yin, who is restlessly lurking outside the bright cold realm. Blood Yin, gripped by fear, flees into the shadows somewhere, and the 8 lights, after exchanging their wills, depart once again without paying Blood Yin any care. Who, with the body of an old tree and her sacred master body pierced by 7 lightning spears, Baek Woon gazes at the large salt mountain that has appeared before her eyes. The salt mountain is slowly collapsing in the blowing wind. Though it briefly reacted to the light of the radiant 8 immortals and became a passageway to another world, it is now nothing more than an ordinary mass of salt. With a wave of her hand, she scatters the entire salt mountain. At the center of Salt Mountain, a white Norige is emitting a pure white light. Salt crystal, a remnant of ancient force. She sighs and looks beyond the bright cold realm, somewhere outside of the dimension. An ominous ore originating from the head realm. This isn't even the sealed ancient force realm. I shouldn't leave it here. Snap. With a snap of her fingers, the salt crystal Norige is expelled from the bright cold realm and flies off into the astral realm. Without giving the Norige any more attention, she restores Heavenly Lotus Mountain and begins repairing the various parts of the bright cold realm damaged by the recent events. The bright cold realm becomes peaceful, as if nothing had happened. Blink. A cool breeze. I open my eyes. This place is Deputy CEO. My head feels like it's about to split. I remember fighting Blood Yin and entering the dream of Peng Lai through the salt crystal Norige at the end, but Deputy CEO, it's too bright. Maybe it's because of those lights, but I can't see well. The air is clean, and the heaven and earth spiritual energy is, what's this? I can't feel the heaven and earth spiritual energy. Just where is this? Deputy CEO, you bastard. Slap. Suddenly, I'm dumbfounded by the hand that slaps my cheek, and I rub my eyes. Gradually, my vision and senses adjust. Maybe it's because I always had near-omniscient senses in the consciousness domain, and I possessed near-omnipotent power thanks to the authority of cultivator, but my body isn't used to this, and I couldn't react properly to the slap just now. I gather my thoughts and look around. The forest is dense. The air is clear, and a familiar face in loosely worn office attire is standing before me. Jaeon Myung-hoon, what happened? What? This crazy bastard. Are you asking because you don't know this happened due to you dozing off at the wheel? And what? Jaeon Myung-hoon, am I your friend? Question mark. I rub my eyes and look around. I see Kim Young-hoon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yeon, and Seo Ran. Kong Min-hee and Oh Hai-seo are not here. And Seo Ran, absurdly enough, is wearing clothes similar to what Kong Min-hee wore back on Earth and is fixing his hair. What the? Wait, what's going on? What do you mean, what's going on? Everything's gone to hell because of you. Deputy Seo Ran hit her head because of you and now has amnesia, and you bastard. Wait, shut up for a second. Pabat. I strike the pressure points of Jaeon Myung-hoon and the rest of the people here, knocking them out, and quickly climb a nearby tree. It's that tree, the one I always climbed each time I regressed. From the top of the tree, I gaze out at the vast sea of trees stretching endlessly before me. Yes, this is Ascension Path. The current situation is my first regression point. 458. What the? I feel bewildered as I touch my head. At the same time, I observe my body from the top of the tree and look up at the sky. The celestial energy isn't readable, and I can't sense the small world within my body. I see. This is similar to the dream world from Peng Lai Island. However, there is a difference. This world doesn't just reference fairy tales from our subconscious, it seems to be created entirely based on our memories. Of course, it's not all exactly the same. I gently touch the leaves of the tree I climbed. The number of leaves is different. Even though it no longer occurs, there was a time when I frequently experienced mornings at Ascension Path. As such, I had swept through this area completely with my consciousness before. That's why the number of branches and leaves on the tallest tree, and the state at that time, are clearly remembered in my mind. Even the smell is slightly different. Before my senses sharpened, I didn't notice. But now that I can fully control the senses of my body, I can tell. The smell of Ascension Path in the early cycles had a faint hint of Shiho's excrement mixed into the forest air. However, there's no scent of Shiho's excrement. It's mixed with the smell of another animal, meaning that Shiho is no longer the current master of Ascension Path. It looks perfectly the same on the surface, but in the finer details, too many things are different. Even just the herbs at Ascension Path. I take in the scents of the herbs. The yellow bamboo ginseng or paralysis grass, the herbs I recognized in the previous Ascension Path are all gone. Instead, what's present? Raspberries. Startled, I stare at the raspberry bushes down below. Raspberries. They seem like a very ordinary fruit, something you could often find if you enter any mountain in the countryside on Earth. But the reason I'm so taken aback by seeing raspberries, it's because raspberries are plants that you can only find on Earth. Raspberries, here, in a world other than Earth. It makes no sense. There may be similar species, but there can't be an exact match. Even people like Kim Young-hoon or I, who came from Earth, are slightly different from the people of this world. The people here have several smaller wisdom teeth, and their tongues can touch their noses. Though these are trivial differences, they indicate that there's a slight genetic difference between us and the people of this world. Taught it, I jump down from the tree and rush to where the raspberries are, inspecting them closely. I pluck one and put it in my mouth, examining it in detail. And I come to one conclusion. It's exactly the same. The taste, the scent, the appearance, the color, the shape, everything is the same as the raspberries I used to eat when I was a child on Earth. This is strange. Furrowing my brows, I put another raspberry in my mouth. Now that I think about it, I see clover and oak trees, plants from Earth as well. Could this place possibly be Earth? As I ponder, it happens. Crunch, crunch, someone is walking towards me. Deputy, CO. No, Senior, it's CO Ran. I frown as I ask. What kind of senior do you mean? CO Ran grabs his head and furrows his brow. That delicate face, resembling CO Wayol, is now marked with distress. My head. So, the truth is, I don't really remember well. But, I do remember that Senior was an esteemed one. I understand for now. It seems that although CO Ran isn't fully okay, he is starting to regain his memories. Judging by his appearance, it looks like the memories are coming back gradually. Are CO Ran and I the first to recover our memories this time too? Seeing his state, I'm convinced. I really thought for a moment that we returned to Earth, but as expected that isn't the case. If someone like CO Ran is regaining his memories, then, this must indeed be a place similar to the dream world. It's a type of illusion formation. One that is based on our memories. By the way, CO Ran. I glance over his appearance from head to toe and ask. Why are you wearing those clothes? CO Ran clutches his head again and responds. My memories are mixed up, so I'm a bit confused, but I think I came wearing my usual clothes from home. Well, for now, I'll assume that you are playing the role of Kong Min-hee in this world. I ask, bewildered by the scent I sense from him. Did you perhaps start practicing the Taiji quaking lightning body before coming here? CO Ran's face suddenly turns bright red, and he avoids my eyes. I'm sorry, Senior. I don't remember very well. To respect CO Ran's dignity, I refrain from asking her any further questions. Alright, for now, focus more on recovering your memories, and help me out a little. Yes, understood. CO Ran and I return to where our unconscious comrades are lying. I hoist Kim Young-hoon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, and Oh Yun-sok onto my back, while CO Ran carries Kim Yeon and follows me. We arrive at the familiar cave of Ascension Path. The cave is in the same place. But, once again, something feels strange. While the cave is where it should be, something has changed a lot. The cave's entrance is much larger than I remember, and inside, stalagmites and stalactites have grown to the point that they form a forest. CO Ran and I lay our comrades down in a suitable spot, and I send her to gather some dry leaves and branches. Buong, Waruruk. I swing the branches, generating friction to ignite a fire, and after setting up a proper campfire, I gather some fruits that I recognize nearby. The interesting part is that most of the trees and fruits in this area are from Earth, and unlike the plants of Ascension Path, I'm not familiar with the plants from Earth. Compared to the abundance I had in the early cycles, now I can only gather raspberries. Do you know anything useful? Ah, when I was hungry, I usually swallowed sharks, dolphins, or swordfish whole, so I don't know much about land animals. What about plants? Plants, well, occasionally, when I wanted a special treat, I would swallow an entire coral reef, but that's enough. It seems Co Ran isn't going to be much help in this situation. I quickly carve a moderately thick branch into the shape of a wooden sword, set it aside, then sit cross-legged and begin regulating my breathing. How long have I concentrated on my breathing? Drip. Blood starts flowing from my nose. Then, I finally sense a faint warmth around my dantian. I see. Qi itself does exist. However, the breathing technique I just used isn't an ordinary one. I imbued my breath with intent, desperately overloading my brain to draw in as much energy from the surroundings as possible. If I had done this in the bright cold realm, the surrounding heaven and earth's spiritual energy would have been completely sucked dry, turning the area within 60,000 li into a dead zone, a terrifying act. But despite such an overwhelming technique, and despite pushing my brain to the point where blood trickles from my nose, I've only managed to gather a minuscule amount of internal energy, barely the level a common person might obtain. I rub my throbbing head. At this rate, if I want to reach the Qi building stage, I'll have to overload my brain and cultivate for 100 years. Damn it, I can't continue like this. I sigh and stand up from my seat. There is Qi, but it's so scarce that it's almost hopeless. How strange. It's impossible for there to be so little Qi in a forest teeming with life. Is the fundamental rule of this world simply different? I explain the situation to Co Ran and ask for her opinion. What do you think, Co Ran? Co Ran furrows her pale face and contemplates for a moment. She then offers a textbook response. Well, assuming this world exists based on our memories, it would be right to start by meeting the people of this world. Just like the last time with Yuk Yo, the inhabitants of this world likely know things we don't, and meeting them might give us a hint on how to escape this world. A hint? Ah, it's one of the words jumbled in my memory. Could it be something I learned in this world? Probably. I think for a moment, trying to recall what the word, hint, referred to, and then nod as the memory returns. TLN. Hint, being the actual English word hint, not the hint clue in the language of RTOC. I've lost the connection to the canvas of myriad forms and connections due to the lack of Qi. However, since the canvas is within my heart essence, I won't completely fall into dementia like before, though it'll be harder to recall memories as smoothly as before. Alright, you're right. First, we should meet the other intelligent beings of this world and talk to them before deciding on a direction. The problem is, if this place is based on Ascension Path, it's going to be vast, and encountering any intelligent beings might be diff. Just when I think so. A strong wind blows, and someone lands behind me. Feeling a spine-chilling presence, I turn around. This aura, it has two heads, like conjoined twins. The creature, dressed in red robes, has one male head and one female head, and its skin is dotted with red scales. But that's not the issue. Qi building stage. The danger emanating from this being rivals that of an early Qi building stage cultivator. With a faint smile on its male face, it opens its mouth. Well now, you dare enter my forest and light a fire without permission. On top of that, you pluck the fruits of my forest and cut down my trees to make that toy. I can feel it. The scent coming from this being is the same scent of the animal throughout the forest. The smell of a snake. I remain vigilant as I pay my respects to this two-headed creature. It must be a manifestation of that two-headed snake. For some reason, it seems like in this world, beings at the Qi building stage or higher are capable of taking on human form. Judging by the current situation, this snake seems to be a similar existence to Shiho from back then. I bow my head before the snake and speak. I did not realize that we were being so rude in the presence of the master of the forest. We are but lowly and weak humans, so please do not be too angry with us, we were merely seeking warmth to heat our bodies. Haha, I see, you are a human who knows manners. The snake strokes the beard of its male head and laughs. Then, it suddenly speaks. If you know proper manners, then you should understand what you've just done. As punishment, cut off one of your arms and offer it to me. And if you wish to stay in my forest, let's see, since both of your faces are quite pleasing, why don't you both try to satisfy me? The snake points at me and Seo ran with a face full of lust. Clicking my tongue, I shake my head. I humbly apologize, but that won't be possible. In the past, when facing Shiho, there was an overwhelming difference in power, and I was certain that even if my arm was torn off, I could recover, so it wasn't a big deal to offer it. But now, that's not the case. I don't know if Azure Tiger Saint will come. This world, though it looks similar, is completely different. I can't afford to act recklessly. The snake's face twitches. At that moment, I roughly figure out the snake's true level. It isn't at the early chi building stage. Goodness, is it actually at the late chi refining stage? But it's emitting pressure at the chi building stage. I see, the spiritual energy in the snake's body isn't just flowing naturally, it's circulating through dozens of spell formations. Each formation links together, amplifying its power, making it feel like a chi building level being. It seems that, in this world where the heaven and earth spiritual energy is extremely scarce, the methods for handling spells have evolved to an extreme degree. The snake twitches again before turning its head. Its female face looks at me and speaks. Ho, oh ho ho. I see, you must have misspoken out of shock. I'll overlook this rudeness if you pull out both of your arms or legs. Let me repeat, if you two serve me, then I'll allow you to stay in this forest. Sorry, but, I turn around to look behind me. Seo Ran, Kim Young-hoon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yeon. All of them are people who already have partners. Everyone here is already taken, so I don't think serving you will be an option. Why don't you propose something else? If there's anything we can help with, we will. Quote. You. Both of the snake's faces turn crimson. It grits its teeth and roars in fury. I am the beloved concubine of the great Shiho, the heaven-treading desert ruler, one of the 3 rulers of this continent, and you dare reject my mercy. It would not be a crime to tear you apart. Quarururuk. A blood-red aura surges from the snake's entire body, and I smirk as I grip my wooden sword. I observe, the energy within my body is, by the standards of the head realm, nothing more than third-rate. No, it's not even third-rate. Just the amount of energy an ordinary person could develop after a few months of diligent health exercises. With only this pitiful amount of energy, can I possibly defeat this late chi refining stage creature, essentially a chi building stage demon beast? I watch the snake as it begins to transform into its true form and swing my sword. Pa-bang! In an instant, one of the snake's heads bursts apart. I can feel the shock from the snake. How can a mere mortal? I lick the blood off my wooden sword, my eyes gleaming. It's as if its entire body is wrapped in protective gang chi. But it's not real gang chi. No, even if it were real gang chi, I could still cut through it as long as I aim well between the grains. Lick. I pull my tongue away from the blade and grin, baring my teeth. Even if I've become a powerless mortal, I think I can still take down someone of your level. So stop wasting your energy and come at me. I've returned to Ascension Path. A lot has changed, and there's still a lot I'm bewildered by. But one thing is certain. If I take down the creature in front of me, many things will be resolved. I charge at the 2-headed snake, swinging my sword. Chapter 459. The place the snake cannot be found. 1. Bastard. You cut off my head by luck and now you're acting all high and mighty. Charuruk. The snake opens its mouth and spews a poisonous mist laced with a red aura. I hold my breath and move my sword. Quack. 3 exchanges. Within 3 motions, a burst of wind blows away all the poisonous mist. I begin overloading my brain, using all the muscles in my body. My muscle fibers might tear a little. But with no chi, there's no other way to deal with an opponent like this. I gather the faintest trace of energy and infuse it into my wooden sword to strengthen it. In this situation, let alone sword gang, even sword energy is unthinkable. I need to strengthen the sword enough so it doesn't break. I need to produce the greatest result with the least amount of strength. Chiak. I clearly perceive the weight of the sword, my eyes gleaming. Weight, or the strength called attraction force. As long as attraction force exists, so does fate. And as long as fate exists, I can summon the All-Heavens sword at any time. It was through the same method that I escaped from being trapped in the small dimension in the lightning sacred sea. But, as the very law of this world twisted, despite the attraction force, I can't seem to grab hold of the All-Heavens sword. I can vaguely sense that higher planes like the plane of soul exist in this world, above the material realm. However, the method to connect with those higher dimensions feels somewhat different from my previous world, so I can't fully utilize my original abilities. Well, it's not a big issue for now. I'll have to search for a way to recover my abilities and escape this world eventually, but for now, just a slightly enhanced wooden sword is enough to deal with the snake in front of me. Quirrrrk. From the snake's exploded head, a flood of poisonous blood spurts out, transforming into hundreds of venomous serpents that rush toward me. Dodging all the serpents and cutting off the snake's neck is easy enough, but my comrades are behind me. I can't let any of them get poisoned. In that case, I'll just have to dice through all the venomous serpents and close in on the snake. Kugugak. I grab the tip of my sword with my hand and strengthen my grip on the hilt. Without the ability to use energy, I need to rely on this trick to amplify the power of my technique. The wooden sword's blade bends like a bow for a moment, but the blade, reinforced by my energy, does not break. Then, just as all the venomous serpents enter within my sword range, I let go of the sword's tip and begin spinning along with the wooden sword. With the combined force of the sword's elasticity and my movement, I sweep away the hundreds of venomous serpents. Severing mountain swordsmanship, bouldered cliff, strange stone, joy of mountain and peaks. Combined application technique, collapsing tomb Ling. Bouldered cliff which combines offensive and defensive properties, strange stone which specializes in feints, and joy of mountain and peaks which sense sword energy vertically and horizontally come together, forming an overwhelming cutting force that grinds everything around me into dust. Pete, Pababababang. Bursting all the venomous serpents, I use the rotational force from spinning with my sword to kick off the ground, using the bow body movement technique to chase after the snake that's trying to distance itself from me. TLN. It's the technique where you bend the body like an arrow and use the rebound force to move faster. I forgot what I translated it as before. For the demon race that gained renown through close combat to distance itself from me, you should be ashamed. I can see it. The defensive demon abilities tightly covering the snake's body. Dozens of demon abilities swirl within its blood and energy, layering over its scales like armor, completely covering its body. But it's nothing. I see through the grains of all those demon abilities covering its body like armor. They are certainly excellent demon abilities, but they met the wrong opponent. Pang! I stop right in front of the snake, compressing all the flows from earlier into the wooden sword. Crack! The wooden sword vibrates as if it's about to shatter. Let's add to this lowly mortal bastard. The snake, suddenly forced into close combat, is startled and swings its tail at me. Severing mountain swordsmanship, echoing valley. In an instant, I face the snake's tail with my sword. Then, I absorb and add the force of its tail into my sword. At the same time, I read the flow and force in the snake's tail and once again confirm its weak points. It's over, Pete. In an instant, my movement breaks the sound barrier. Air is pushed aside by my sword. The sound of breaking through air starts to erupt from my entire body. Severing mountain swordsmanship, landscape painting. A total of 7 attacks tear through the gaps in the spell armor, striking various points on the snake's body and neutralizing it. As my sword, now moving faster than sound, tears through the spell armor, the resulting shockwave makes the nearby flesh and scales explode. Neck, waist, tail, stomach in 3 places, and its side. A total of 7 points explode, and the snake collapses, screaming in pain. I look at my forearms and shoulders, now burnt from the friction heat. My body couldn't withstand the strain of breaking the sound barrier. To think my body couldn't endure even this much speed and got injured. Despite only strengthening the sword to conserve my meager energy, it was still quite a novel experience. My current body feels exactly the same as it did when I fell onto Ascension Path, which is probably why I feel it even more intensely. This body of an untrained office worker. No wonder my muscles ache. Fortunately, since I perfectly controlled all my muscles, none of them were torn. For now, I'll need to do some physical training. As I assess the state of my body, I point the sword toward the snake's eyes. Even though I strengthened it with energy, the reinforcement was too weak, and the surface of my sword burned and turned to charcoal. Now that I've defeated you, does that make me the master of this forest? Kahayak, Kook. You look like you're in a lot of pain. If you don't want to die, transform into your human form. If you do, I can at least give you some emergency treatment. At my words, the snake begins to slowly transform back into its human form using its demon ability. I glance at it for a moment before quickly returning to the cave. My comrades are waking up because of the noise from my battle with the snake. Pabat. I knock out my companions again by hitting them on the head, then tear Jaeon Myung-hoon's clothes into strips and return to the spot where the snake is. The snake has fully transformed into its human form by now, and I wrap its wounds with the cloth before applying pressure points to stop the bleeding. Kahaiak, ah. Due to the loss of the male head, only the female head remains on the snake's head. But amusingly, while the face is female, the body is still male. I slap the snake, who still seems dazed, a few times to help it regain its senses. Smack, smack, thwack. Wait, I've regained my senses, elder. Please stop hitting me. Good. So, what's your answer to my question? About the master of the forest. I nod. The snake, seemingly observing my reaction, speaks. That, I would like to offer you the position of the master of the forest, but this ascension forest was granted to me by my master, so I cannot recklessly give it away. Surik. The snake conjures clothes with a spell and continues to speak. I tap the wooden sword, knocking off the charred pieces stuck to it. Seeing this, the snake trembles in fear, probably thinking I'm about to hit it again. Right, your master. I have some questions about them too. Did you say your master is Shiho? Yes, Elder Shiho. He is a six-tailed fox and has reached the grand perfection Shi building stage. In fact, he's practically an expert at the golden core level. I see. There's much I want to ask you. Follow me. We'll go to the cave, and I'll need to hear more about this world from you. I can't walk right now. Could you perhaps help me? What? Why not? Elder broke my ankle, so I can't walk. Quote. I help the snake and bring it to the cave, where I start asking about this world. As I make a splint for its leg, it tells me about the world. So, you're saying Black Ghost Valley doesn't exist? Yes, that's right. According to Lord Shiho, there's a record in ancient texts of such a sect existing, but it's said to have ascended to the upper realm about 100,000 years ago, along with the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect, Azure Heaven Creation sect, and others. I see. It seems this world's setting is about 100,000 years after the ascension back then. It's said the Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect came back down to the lower realm at some point but left for another world again after about 10,000 years. During that time, the Cheonmin clan grew rapidly and re-established the Azure Heaven Creation sect. Then, one day, the amount of heaven and earth spiritual energy in the world began to decline, causing many powerful figures to disappear. Gradually, the average cultivation level in the world dropped as well. What was once a continent teeming with cultivators at the heavenly being stage has, at present, only 3 supreme cultivators known as the 3 powers San Chang of the continent, all of whom are at the grand perfection Chi building to core. Formation level. Who are the 3 powers of the continent, and what are their characteristics? Yes, I will explain that as well. First is the Supreme Elder of the Azure Heaven Creation sect that is known as the strongest force on the continent, Rising Cloud Saint Zhang Yunzi Cheonmin Sunwu. Then, there's the Reclusive Master who used to be a disciple of the Azure Heaven Creation sect but left the sect, Salt Sea Master Cheon Haizi Cheonmin Ryong. Lastly, my master, the most beautiful of them all. Be moderate with the flowery language. Yes, the number 1 beauty of the continent, Lord Shiho, also known as Heavenly Chesspiece Tianqizi, is regarded as one of the 3 great powers of the continent. I see. Thanks for now. I close my eyes after hearing about the state of this world from the snake. Azure Tiger Saint and Shiho are both doing well, and also Salt Sea Master Cheonmin Ryong. The title is unfamiliar, but the name is all too familiar to me. Are you in this world as well? As expected, the world where Buk Hyonghwa resides, and the world where Cheonmin Ryong came to, seem to be the same. In my mind, the vision of Cheonmin Ryong, who appeared in my memory not long ago and gave me guidance, surfaces. I will come see you. I look at my body. A body with very weak energy. Honestly, compared to the authority I once wielded, it's an overwhelmingly frail body, but right now, it actually feels rather fortunate. When I go to meet Cheonmin Ryong, I won't be called senior in front of him. Good. First, let's leave Ascension Path and go find Cheonmin Ryong. I'll study under him for a few years, then meet Azure Tiger Saint and Shiho to strengthen our rapport. With the power of the 3, I'll meet Buk Hyonghwa, and then, after that, I'll find a way to leave this world. As I lay out a rough plan for this world, I toss some branches into the campfire. Seo Ran, are you starting to recover your memories? She shakes her head at my words and replies. Well, actually, a lot of memories that don't seem like mine are mixing in, so I'm in the process of sorting through them. I see. How long do you think it will take to sort everything out? It seems that Seo Ran, who is playing the role of Kong Min-hee, in this world, is having memories mixed in. It's hard to say. It's not just memories but also emotions mixing in. It might take a while to sort them all out. What kind of emotions? Emotions of thinking about someone. How should I put it? Emotions of being annoyed, of wanting to possess them, of feeling bothersome. It feels tender as well. Quote. If Seo Ran is playing the role of Kong Min-hee, could it be? I feel my face redden and let out a cough. Enough. There's no need to talk about that. For now, let's just wait for our comrades to wake up. Yes. And you. I glance at the injured snake and speak. Wait until the others wake up. Once everyone is awake and your body is fully healed, we'll use your body to leave Ascension Path. Yes, I understand. And by any chance, can you cough up your demon core? The snake looks at me with an expression that says, what kind of crazy talk is this? Then it flinches and bows its head. Elder, please spare me. I swear to take you safely out of Ascension Path. Judging by its reaction, it seems that spitting out the demon core would be fatal. Shiho didn't die though. Is it the difference between the core formation stage and the realms below? I nod and sit down, waiting for my comrades to wake up. The snake and Seo Ran fall asleep by the campfire to recover their strength and organize their mind, while I stay awake, keeping watch over the fire as I see the setting sun. It's cold. I look at the sleeping figures of Kim Young-hoon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yeon, Seo Ran, and the red snake, then throw another log into the fire. You brought the snake with you. Yes, well, it looked injured, so I couldn't just leave it outside. Not this time, but last time. When you first arrived, I saw traces of the snake. Pardon. That does seem to be true. You came in through the head realm's entrance, so there's no helping it. That place is incredibly ominous. But if you bring in a snake next time, I won't let it slide. Be careful. Yes, I will be careful. But, is the snake perhaps a metaphor or? Just as I'm responding to answer the person who's advising me, I suddenly realize that I'm alone in the cave. What? For some reason, the voice sounds vaguely familiar to what I've heard in the past. Feeling chills run down my spine, I grip my wooden sword tightly and stay alert on the surroundings. Fortunately or unfortunately, nothing out of the ordinary happens until the next morning. 460. The next day dawns. In the end, the owner of that voice didn't show up again. The being who suddenly appeared and spoke with me last night didn't show up again. Maybe it's fortunate for now. It's a presence that I couldn't even perceive. Perhaps, it's an existence beyond sacred vessel and entering nirvana, and in the true immortal realm. For now, I decide not to think about that being. There's nothing I can do even if I dwell on it. I should focus more on what lies ahead. A little while later, when the sky fully brightens, my comrades wake up one by one. What is this? Why are all my clothes torn? Jaeon Myung-hoon panics and starts looking for something to cover himself with. Oh Yun-sok takes off his outer garment and drapes it over him. I'm in the same situation since my clothes were also torn yesterday when I overstrained my body, so Kim Young-hoon gives me his outer hiking jacket. First, let's check where we are. Everyone, take out your phones and see if you can get a signal. Following Kim Young-hoon's instructions, we each take out what's called a smartphone, a device similar to a magic artifact to check our location. Young-hoon hung nim. There's no signal. Oh Yun-sok waves his communication device toward the sky with his thick fingers, but it's no use. It's the same for Kim Yeon, Jaeon Myung-hoon, Seo Ran, and myself. No, wait, more importantly. Oh Yun-sok looks around with a startled expression. Where's Hi Seo? Are we the only ones here? And what about our car? Except for Seo Ran and I, the other comrades seem quite confused. I guess it's time to let them start adjusting. I clasp my hands behind my back, hiding them, and lightly snap my fingers. T's. Then, the red snake I fought last night, the one named Twin Head, slithers toward the entrance of the cave in its true form. After a night's rest, the severed head had somewhat recovered thanks to the unique regenerative powers of demon beasts. You humans, to dare cause a commotion in my forest, know your sins. I feel a bit sorry for my companions, but they need some shock therapy right now. Talking snake, are we dreaming right now? Kim Young-hoon trembles, pointing his finger at the snake, and the snake glances at me for a cue. May I proceed? The voice transmission from Twin Head echoes in my ear. I nod. I had planned this in advance with Twin Head last night to deliver some shock therapy to my companions. The snake nods in response to my gaze and then opens its mouth wide, roaring. You insolent fool, how dare you not recognize the master of the forest and point your finger at me? Unforgivable. Gulp. In an instant, the snake lunges at Kim Young-hoon, swallowing him whole in one gulp. Glaring at the snake, I mutter in a voice loud enough for it to hear but too low for my companions. If you digest him, you die. Twin Head shudders and nods slightly, then resumes glaring at us. Oh Yun-sok stares blankly at the snake, then begins slapping his own face, while Jaeon Myung-hoon and Kim Yi-in each hide behind Seo Ran and me. Now then, that was punishment for pointing at me. Next, I'll exact punishment for disturbing my forest. Juk. The snake opens its mouth again, spewing out pitch-black poisonous smoke. Jeeing. Inhaling the poison, searing pain begins to spread through their bodies. Kkhaek, Kyog, Kuek, Kyak, Ah, Ok, Ah. Oh Yun-sok and Jaeon Myung-hoon grab their throats and scream, while blood gushes from Kim Yi-in's nose and she rolls on the ground. Seo Ran seems to be regaining her mental power as her memories return, and despite the cold sweat, she endures the pain. Seeing my comrades lose their minds, I click my tongue. No, hold on, if they're in this much pain, they won't be able to do anything. This is the moment when you need to explain that this world is different, but if they're in so much pain that they're losing their minds, tch. Twin Head looks at me cautiously and asks. Forgive me, but this poison is strong enough to drive humans to the brink of madness. How is it that Senior is perfectly fine? This snake bastard, so you thought you'd have a chance if you poisoned me too? Is that why you deliberately released such a potent venom? And no, Elder, it's a misunderstanding. I give Twin Head a good beating to re-educate him. Heal my comrades for now. And know this, if you try any more tricks, I'll really cut off your head next time. Why yes, Elder. Twin Head releases white smoke onto my companions. Only after being bathed in the white smoke do my comrades regain their senses and start breathing heavily. Jaeon Myung-hoon vomits on the spot, probably due to the severe pain. I move beside my comrades, pretending to be suffering alongside them, while glaring at Twin Head. HHMPH. Well, I suppose everyone has come to their senses now, right? If I wanted to, it'd be nothing to devour or kill all of you. Watching my comrades, I step forward toward Twin Head at the right moment. Snake Elder, we were in the wrong. However, could you at least return our Young-hoon Hung Nim whom you swallowed? The plan is that I plead with the snake to return Kim Young-hoon, and Twin Head, impressed by our camaraderie, appropriately spits him out and offers to take us out of Ascension Path due to our displayed friendship. Thud. As previously agreed, Twin Head spits out Kim Young-hoon and, pretending to be moved, tells us to ride on his back. As your friendship is so deep, I shall personally escort you outside of Ascension Forest. Thank you, Snake Elder. I support Kim Young-hoon, who is drenched in Twin Head's stomach acid and saliva, and climb onto the snake's back. As my comrades hesitate in confusion, I give Twin Head's scales a poke. You humans, do you intend to reject my favor? Should I just devour all of you after all? And no, Sir Snake. As Jaeon Myung-hoon hurriedly climbs on, Oh Yun-sok, Kim Yi-in, and Seo Ran also get on the snake's back. Smack. When I slap Twin Head on the nape, the snake takes off at once. Surururuk. Sure enough, Twin Head speeds along Ascension Path with incredible swiftness. My comrades, overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events, remain silent, clinging to the snakes. Back. How long have we been racing along Ascension Path on Twin Head's back? Pot. Finally, we reach the end of Ascension Path. Finally the edge of the forest. It's when Jaeon Myung-hoon excitedly starts to speak. His eyes widen in shock. I, too, can't help but flinch in surprise. I wondered why this snake kept calling it Ascension Forest Lin instead of Ascension Island Dao, but what unfolds before our eyes isn't a sheer cliff. It isn't a spell barrier surrounding Ascension Path, nor is it a strange sight of clouds floating beneath our feet. It is an entirely reasonable, perfectly normal landscape. Yes, an endless desert spreads before us. That's right, at this point, the Sky Island Ascension Path, Ascension Island no longer exists. Only the Ascension Forest, which after 100,000 years of diminishing floating power, had finally descended to rest in the heaven-treading desert, remains in this place. However, Jaeon Myung-hoon and the others seem shocked enough by this sight alone and start panicking. Desert. Was there a desert in our country? This makes no sense, we were just driving in our car. I talked to my comrades, who still seem unable to grasp the situation. Everyone, you need to come to your senses. Some of you may have realized from this snake elder, but this world is no longer the earth we lived on. It's likely a new world where all sorts of supernatural powers and strange beings exist. I don't know what will happen from now on, but you must abandon your old common sense from Earth. As I speak, I lightly tap Twin Head on the back. That's right, humans. I'll give you an explanation of this world for your sake. Sliding across the desert, Twin Head begins to teach my comrades the basic knowledge, history, and terminology of this world. Several months have passed. We crossed the desert, sustained off the vital energy provided by Twin Head, and finally arrived at the eastern part of the heaven-treading desert. We have arrived in the nation of Manli, Wanli, 10K Li. The heaven-treading desert is fundamentally under Shiho's control. The northern plains are governed by the Azure Heaven Creation sect, and it is said that Cheonmin Ryong controls the 3 western nations, so I purposely had Twin Head bring us to Manli, a coalition of eastern tribal states. In Oh Yun Sok's case, if we're not careful, he could be captured by Azure Tiger Saint again and forced to train in the style of the Azure Heaven Creation sect. The problem is that, given the nature of the Azure Heaven Creation sect, the trouble could extend to us, and we might be forced to suffer the 5 elements body tempering as well. Oh Yun Sok and I will be fine, but if our comrades are captured by the Azure Heaven Creation sect, they will definitely go mad. However, I can't just go meet Shiho either in a situation where I have no internal energy and no proper weapons. Considering that Shiho had shown some interest in Seo Ran back on Penglai Island, and hearing that he now has both the skill of the core formation stage and full rationality, it's clear he would try to take her as his concubine. I have no way to stop that. Lastly, I can't go to the 3 western nations where Cheonmin Ryong was. I can't say for sure that factions like the Mokli clan don't exist even thousands of years later. Moreover, with the current state of this world where heaven and earth's spiritual energy is even more lacking, the likelihood of encountering such a devilish clan that replenishes energy by sucking blood, bone, and flesh is even higher. Thus, we deliberately came to the eastern Manli. Since ancient times, Manli has been known for having many ferocious demon beasts that eat humans, making manpower scarce, and thus the devilish arts that involve consuming human flesh and bones have not developed much. A devilish force like the Mokli clan, with its organizational power, is something I can't handle in my current state, but as long as I have suitable weapons, I can cut down any man-eating demon beast. After dropping us off at Manli's border, Twin Head bids us farewell and hastily flees from me. I speak to my comrades, who over the past few months of crossing the desert now have some understanding of this strange world. Everyone, you must forget Earth. This is an entirely different world, and from now on, you must learn the language of this world and become accustomed to its laws to survive. As unbelievable as it may seem, you must believe it. Ha. Kim Young-hoon lets out a hollow in disbelief, and the other comrades also gaze at one of the tribes of the distant Manli, as if their path ahead is bleak. I did learn the Eastern language from one of the Eastern lords. Was it Manli Min Rap? Mali Min Lip? Something like that, but I don't know if it'll still work after tens of thousands of years. Recalling the Eastern language I had learned from an Eastern lord before fighting Yuan Li, I start walking towards the distant tribe with my comrades. 10 years have passed. Kurururun. A black sickle slices cleanly across the neck of a demon beast shaped like a rocky mountain and returns to my hand. Wah! General Seo! General Seo! General Seo! Great General Seo! He is a god. I swing the sickle towards the demon beast's body, extract its demon core, and absorb the demonic energy within it. Korurik. The demonic energy of the black-horned beast, which had destroyed 100 villages and brutally killed and devoured the villagers, flows into my body and gathers in my dantian under my control. Crack. I examine the internal energy flowing through my body. It's been 10 years since I came to the east. During this time, I have killed numerous wicked demons and evil ghosts of the east, becoming a hero of the eastern lands. As a result of absorbing the energy from their demon cores and inner cores, my internal energy has increased to the point where it now matches that of one sexagenary cycle, 60 years. Great General Seo, the chief of our Myeonran tribe says the item is complete. Is that so? Bring it to me later. Yes, we will definitely deliver it by the day after tomorrow. After dealing with the demon beast, I return to my tent. These past 10 years, I absorbed the martial arts of the East, and I have become the #1 martial artist under the heavens of the Eastern martial world. I am the strongest in the East. Surik, I unravel the bandages wrapped around my body. Then, with a slight application of force, the bandages spread throughout the tent as if alive, grabbing hidden weapons from various places. This is an application of the heavenly silkworm controlling ghost art, combining the puppet manipulation techniques of the wonderfully mysterious innate heart canon with the martial arts of the East. Swaririk, I begin to dance inside the tent. Swaririk, the bandages flutter in response to my movements, and the various weapons they hold move in unison. Spears, whips, daggers, sickles, scythes, chains, needles. All sorts of bizarre weapons move in perfect harmony, wriggling like living creatures. In an instant, as my dance reaches its peak, the blades and tips of the bizarre weapons all focus toward a single point. And in the next moment, the bizarre weapons move, snuffing out the candle in the room. It's a flawless application of power. Kududuk. Although it only extinguished the candlelight, if I hadn't compressed and nullified my strength but instead released it outward, I could have easily blown away a small hill. It took about 10 years to replace the formless sword, a martial art that manipulates dozens of bizarre weapons in perfect harmony using bandages, acquiring the trajectory of infinity. The heavenly silkworm controlling ghost art is a martial art I created over the past 10 years to substitute for the formless sword in this world where there is no chi and the plane of soul does not respond. The result has been quite satisfying, allowing me to replicate about 80% of the formless sword's original power. Once I retrieve the item, entrusted to the Myeonran tribe's chief, I'll be able to fully display the power of the core formation stage. Kududuk. I sense the energy of one sexagenary cycle flowing in my hand, my eyes gleaming. 10 years. It's but a fleeting moment in the time of a cultivator, but it's been a long time for someone living as a mortal. It's been long enough to become the strongest in the East and reach the point of wielding core formation level strength. Now, it's time to seek out Cheongmin Ryong again. Dear, are you inside? As I'm reaffirming my resolve about Cheongmin Ryong, Kim Yeon peeks her head into the tent. Didn't I tell you not to call me that when we're alone? Just call me Seo Eun-yeon. But officially we're married, aren't we? This is the result of my mistake in choosing the East. In the East, there's a tradition that warriors above a certain level must either marry or have their testicles removed. They say it's to prevent strong individuals from arrogantly committing rape or other sexual crimes, relying on their strength. The pain of having my testicles removed wouldn't have been an issue, but I couldn't handle the social stigma, so I decided to enter into a fake marriage with Kim Yeon. Kim Yeon seems to like it, but I'm a little taken aback. If I'm going to get married, it shouldn't be done so impulsively like this, but forget it. There's no point in thinking about it now. I sigh, clearing my mind of unnecessary thoughts, and ask Kim Yeon. So, what's the matter? Seo Ran-Uni is having another fit. I quickly leave the tent with Kim Yeon and head toward Seo Ran's tent. Inside Seo Ran's tent, Kim Young-hoon and Jaeon Myung-hoon are already there. Are you here, Seo Eun-yeon? Oh, Eun-yeon, hurry. Kim Young-hoon and Jaeon Myung-hoon, who have learned martial arts over the past few years, are holding Seo Ran down. Her body is covered with self-inflicted wounds. Seo Ran is crying tears of blood and agony, and I approach her, placing my hand on her head. Then I slowly meet her eyes. I send a voice transmission into her ear, one that no one else can hear. From now on, I'm going to kill you. Hyuk. Finally, Seo Ran regains her senses. I used a method where I pour my killing intent, which has reached the level of void shattering, into her mind, making her feel as if she's on the verge of death and forcibly awakening her mind. It was you, Senior. Seo Ran looks up at me with eyes filled with fear and speaks weakly. I had another dream. In the midst of those strange jumbled memories, in a memory I don't remember, my mother appeared. Seo Ran hugs herself, her teeth chattering. Mother called for me. Even now, I still hear Mother's voice. Stop, it's okay. I send a surge of killing intent to Seo Ran to calm her down and speak. There's no one like your mother here. It's okay, relax. Seo Ran recently mentioned that, for some reason, she's been having dreams where a being called Mother calls out to her. She says that whenever she dreams of it, she feels an overwhelming fear, as if she's about to remember something horrifying that she lost before. What I'm afraid is that what I find beyond these dreams will eat away at me. If I listen to the whispers beyond these dreams, somehow, it feels like the Seo Ran I am now will disappear, and I'll become someone entirely different. Quote. Is that so? After calming Seo Ran down for a while, we step outside the hut once she is fully settled. Seo Ran's condition seems to be quite serious. Tisk, it's troubling. Kim Young-hoon and Jaeon Myung-hoon both sigh, their faces darkening. Looking at them, I speak. We need to head west as soon as possible and meet with the cultivators there. We should ask them to temporarily seal Seo Ran's memories. Tisk, judging by Seo Ran's state, it would be best to go quickly, but when will the preparations be complete? Kim Young-hoon glanced back at Seo Ran with a sorrowful expression. We have to wait until we get our hands on the item from the Myeonran tribe. Once we get that item, didn't you say we'll have to work on this land for another 10 years as Pame? It's at that moment, Sururuk. From the darkness, a giant man wrapped entirely in black bandages appears. It's been a while, Hung Nim. And Jaeon Myung-hoon, Seo Eun-yun. You've returned, Yun-sok Hung Nim. Any results? The giant man, Oh Yun-sok, had spent the last 10 years learning infiltration and assassination techniques of the East, becoming a full-fledged assassin. Surprisingly, he has a great affinity for techniques that erases one's presence, and he quickly became the #1 assassin. Once we leave this world, I'll have to teach him the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. After chatting with us for a while, Oh Yun-sok claps his hands as if he just remembered something. Ah, I almost forgot. Here's the item you asked for, Seo Eun-yun. Oh Yun-sok takes out a sword from behind his back and hands it to me. The resplendent treasured sword of the desert. It's the item from the Myeonran tribe. That's right, it was quite a hassle to steal it. I had asked Oh Yun-sok, who learned assassination techniques, to steal the treasure sword of the Myeonran tribe. This treasured sword possesses the highest strength in the Eastern martial world, boasting extraordinary capabilities. Grinning, I hold up the treasured sword. Perfect. With this, I can now fully unleash the power of the formless sword through the heavenly silkworm controlling ghost art. I turn to my comrades and shout. The preparations are complete. Everyone, pack up your things. We're leaving the East today. Now, all preparations are done. All that remains is to meet Cheongman Ryong. And so, we stole the greatest treasured sword of the Eastern tribal states and fled under the cover of night, heading for the Western Three Nations. 4 months passed. So, this is Biokra. We arrived at Cheonsak city of Biokra. The reunion with Cheonman Ryong is imminent.